What's going on, people? It is Saturday night and next podcast is live. Yo, huge shout out to the chat, everybody who comes in before time, to kind of hear the music, get ready for the show. It's 7:08 right now, so some people would think we're 8 minutes late. I think we're actually right on time, and we got to get into the intros. First off, I am going to introduce... I'm going to call him the winner of gameplay last week. My brother, Predator!
Yo, what's up, man? I don't know what happened last week because I know we were both looking at the same time, and I had won, and K-Mega pulled some shady shit and got 1% extra of vote or something. I don't know. But, I just barely made it in. I've been out running around all fucking day working and stuff, so glad to be here. K-Mega, shut up.
Yo,
and
brother, you said you might be late, and you got in here before our brother K-Mega did. So, I mean, like, I don't know how you do it, man. There's times you're like, I don't even know if I can make the show, and then you end up the first person in the hangout on that day. So, I mean, we definitely appreciate it, man. I can't wait to get into these topics with you. I don't know, what do you think? We got a fire lineup, right?
Yeah, we do.
Oh yeah, bro. Let's move on to the next man on the list. He has saved the world more than, I think we're going on 200,657 times. You know
58.
him. Oh, 58? Oh, see, while we were doing the intros another time. You know him as the Angry Otter. I know him as Dark Optimus.
Everyone, happy to be here, man. You know, I'm officially back, but I'm just here to do this weekend. Just thought I'd jump in.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Like I said, the door's always open for you, for the Don, basically for the next podcast family. But I will let you know, there is only one bot on this show, and you cannot take that crown from me, man. You need to chill with that botting stuff. All right? All right. Well,
all right, I'll come back.
All right, guys. Next on the list, coming live from the 405, and you know, he'd be on time if it wasn't for Sir X-Man this week, K-Mega!
Hold on, let me take a drink of my Hennessy, my victory Hennessy.
Oh yeah, gameplay winner as well, right?
Yeah, I just wanted you to acknowledge that. I think it was pretty sly of you, sir, to do that. And
what did I do?
And of course the shadiness that happened. I really appreciate the men and women and children that follow and listen to all of us that support me, and to make sure that you saw the disgusting
you just made everybody
acts,
fall asleep.
the collusion. He cut off half of
collusion.
my gameplay. He cut off.
Dude, I cut off more for your winning gameplay. You know why? You know why? Do you want to know why?
Yeah, well, yeah. You said
I ain't giving Square Enix my money, man. That's
okay.
Pretty much
All
what
right.
it is.
Look. I showed the same gameplay on my channel, and I did not get flagged. So I don't know what's going on there. But
maybe it's the subscriber base. I got a bigger magnifying glass on me. Man.
Maybe. I mean, that's, you know what I'm saying. I mean, it could be, but there's also the fact that, you know what I'm saying. It's just that maybe you could have fought it. I told you to fight it.
Yeah, that would do you know how long that would take? I talked to a few YouTubers.
It only took me somebody did the same thing to me. I know I'm going too long. I'm sorry, but I had the same situation. I showed video gameplay of God of War, and somebody flagged me saying that it was their shit, and I was like, what? And I challenged it, and
was it the company that made it though? Like
no, it was some YouTuber. So anyway, it was crazy. But I'm glad to be here as always. I apologize for being late. But, you know, as a non-gamer, I had to game with some other non-gamers, and that's what happened. But anyway, I'm glad for the special guests and everybody else to be here except for Optimus. Let's go.
Oh, there we go. Yo, guys, it is a very special episode. I am pleased to announce our special guest for tonight, making his first ever appearance on this show. My BGST brother, he is a co-host for the DPP, Kris Steel!
Let me tell you something, brother. You told me to come in like you were wrestling, so here I am, Kris Steel, on the next podcast. I'm running out of steam, but Bot, thanks for having me.
Ooh, yeah. Nice, bro. Dude, it like we've been saying off the air, it's been a long time coming. We do BGST together. I hear what you say, your opinions. You are definitely a gamer, and I could not wait to have you on the show. Huge shout out to the Mrs. Kris Steele out there for having to go out and do something and leave you there to come here, man. That's what I'm saying.
Home Alone up to mischief.
Let's do this, bro. Let's do this. And before we get into the topics, I wanna take a minute and I wanna shout out a couple people in the community who have hooked me up like incredibly, man. The support has been absolutely tremendous, and first off I want to give a huge shout out to my brother Yobi Dren, who actually sent me the Super Nintendo Classic. So I have the mini SNES with games like Super Metroid, Zelda, A Link to the Past, Super Mario, Star Fox. I could go on and on. Yo, brother, this little thing is absolutely fantastic. Not only do I love it, but the twins in the house, they have been eyeing this thing, and they can't wait to play with it as well. So huge shout out to you. And my brother Sleepy Goblin, who hooked me up with a code for Darksiders 3, which I actually went into. You'll see some of my gameplay, on this show where I went in and played some Darksiders 3. It is a really fun game. And thank you so much,
That
man.
gameplay should win.
Is it good? Is it fun?
It's cool, man. There are some weird elements.
I'm buying
to
it
that
right
game,
now.
man.
Thank you. I'm buying it right now.
Yeah, dude. I think you will really like it. I like kind of like the openness of the world. I know some people are having issues with what they did with kind of like the leveling system, leveling the environment and everything like that. I think it's really cool. And I'm having a lot of fun.
They went back to the first one. They went back to like more of the first one style instead of the second one. So.
All right. Well, yeah, like I said, huge shout out to the community. Thank you guys so much. I will let you know that the super chat is enabled. I know some people were watching Crossfire and they're like, what's going on? We can't donate to the super chat. Don't worry about that on this show, people. It is there. If you feel the need, you want to donate, it is right there for you. But other than that, we have to get into topics, and I'm going to throw my curveball right in the beginning. I'm
Knoxximus 1, and I'm a part of the panel.
Damn!
Thank you very much.
Guys,
feel pretty neat.
The rookie of the year is no longer the rookie of the year. Get your ass off the bench and come on to play.
Yo, Knox, my brother.
I was trying to be pleasant.
He got all flustered because I was joining.
Guys,
That's why he didn't say it.
I am red right now, to be really honest with you. I
see how bad did you?
That's only like the third time.
It's all right, he got Kris Steele here. He's got all of you guys. I think there's some good stuff.
Dude, he's got the one man that saved the world 100 and something times.
Forget about the new guy.
Oh, man.
Guys, please, in the chat, give a huge shout out for
Doc
the
is
rookie
praying
of the
in his
year,
tired ass gameplay.
Knoxximus.
Man, I'm just messing with you, man. It's all good. Let's
It's all
get
good,
it,
bro. Man, every once in a while, live shows, shit's bound to happen, man. I'm surprised I actually did get to announce Dark Optimus. Sometimes I forget about him as well. So, but no, guys, I want to throw my curveball real quick. The game Below has come out, and if you have Game Pass, you're able to download that game. I gotta ask the panel, who has downloaded and played the game Below?
Kris Steele has.
Kris Steele. Anybody else on the panel?
I have not.
Really? That is very interesting. Well, I'm gonna go to Kris real quick. I want to hear kind of like your thoughts on this game. Now, first off, Below was announced pretty much with the launch of the Xbox One. So, it's been kind of like years in the making. People have been saying that they can't wait for this game to come out. Kind of like that game that's made in the old school, kind of like Zelda format, dungeon crawling, everything like that. I got to ask you, dude, how much did you get to play? And what are your thoughts, the good and bad and whatnot?
See, I was pretty hyped for this game. I enjoy that top-down Zelda-y look to it. The graphics, you know, say what you will about the graphics. They're not. I don't want to say they're basic. It's just very atmospheric. The music is wonderful. The sound design is really good. If you don't know, there is permadeath, which really kind of sucks. The opening sequence where you don't know what's going on. It's just got this real creepy, eerie music, and then all of a sudden you notice that you're on this boat, and then you're still going because you're not controlling it. It takes like 5 minutes before you can actually do something. So, you know, in that time you can make a sandwich, get a snack if it's your first time playing, or you can sit there and enjoy the music. I think my main problem with Below is I think that the camera is so far away from the character. It makes it kind of hard to enjoy the game.
You're like squinting while you're playing, like, what the hell's going on there?
Yeah,
like,
and I'm only sitting 5 feet away from my TV, and it's not like I'm not blind. I mean, I got contacts, so I can see fairly well, I guess. But overall, I think the game, it definitely is a very niche title. It does not hold your hand at all. There's no like real tutorial. It doesn't tell you what to do. There's some screen prompting going on, but it is all kind of left up to you to figure out what you're doing. At first, I didn't know I had to find a lantern because I had a torch, so I thought the torch was my lantern. But no, you have to find this lantern before you can progress to any sort of like action in this game. And when you get your first permadeath, you will be upset because you've spent a good amount of time exploring, trying to figure out what the hell you're supposed to do.
All right, now I gotta ask you. First off, Chris, did you buy the game or are you playing it through Game Pass?
Game Pass.
Game Pass.
I wanted to buy it. I really did, but
dude,
I don't know so much.
From what I heard, a lot of people wanted to buy it, and then at the end of the day, it seems like with this game on Game Pass, those people that wanted to buy it haven't even downloaded yet. But that's gonna be a topic that we're gonna hit right afterwards. Now, I gotta ask you, for people who have Game Pass, do you think this game is worth downloading and at least trying it out to see if you like it, man?
Yeah, absolutely. What makes Game Pass great is, you know, the fact that you can download all these games and play them, and you could it's basically like a rental service. So you know what you're getting into. You don't have to feel like you're getting burned buying some of these games, because in the past I've bought games that, you know, just on the whim, and then like, oh man, this game kind of sucks. And with Game Pass, I get to try out a lot of games and know if I actually want to buy it. So it's worth a download. It may speak to some people. I know that there's a lot of people out there that are enjoying the game because it's that Zelda-y, permadeath-y type of thing that they like. So it's not necessarily for me. I got to get more into it, and maybe I might grow to love it, because I think what Cappy has done is something that is not necessarily new to this genre of games, but I like the music. The music to me is so good. That's what makes me want to play more. So yeah, it's worth a download if you got Game Pass. And if you don't have Game Pass, get it. It's $10 or find a free code. They're all over the place.
All right, man. Now I'm gonna swing the focus onto the rest of the panel here, guys. What the hell is wrong with you guys? How come nobody here has downloaded this game? I can swear at least like K Mega, possibly Dark. Like when we're talking about Below, I know I said it's been too long. You know what I'm saying? It's been absolutely too long. They put it in Game Pass. I'll try it eventually. But to me, it's been way too long in development. I didn't like the way it kind of looked, the way Kris was talking, how far back the camera was. I didn't like that from the beginning when they first showed this game. Guys, like what's going on? Anybody gonna explain themselves why they haven't played this game that people were hyping up for like years?
Honestly, I think it's because it came out. It's coming out at a time where we have a ton of other games to play. We have Assassin's Creed, Odyssey. We have Red Dead Redemption 2. I know there's a lot of people out there that aren't finished with that game. We have a lot of other games like Ashen that just came out too. We have some other games, and I think there's a lot of people are just like, well, I'll just wait. It's in Game Pass. I can get it later. It's not a big deal. It's not like I have to get it. I have to download it right now. I can just play the games that I already have, finish those, and then download Below. For me, when Kris said the whole permadeath thing, I was like, I'm out, dude. I'm not. I don't play that. I don't play that type of game. That type of game, like I can't do that. Like I can't stand when games do that, because it makes it challenging where it's unnecessary to be challenging. Like it makes it you feel like you're, I don't know. It just makes me feel like I don't know. It makes me feel weird about it.
Well, Dark.
Can I say something real quick
Yeah,
about
go
the permadeath? The permadeath thing is really off-putting to where when I first died, I was like, all right, I don't want to play it again. To where, like, in Cuphead, even though Cuphead is super challenging and the hit points are very low, Cuphead kept me wanting to keep playing until finally I was like, all right, I really need a break from this game because it's hard.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, check this out. Now,
There's
Dark,
a difference between hard and permadeath. And
Exactly, you're right.
Dark, I
Death
hear,
is just tedious. That's what it is.
Dark, I hear what you're saying. Like, I hear what you're saying. But guess what? This is where your reasoning doesn't fly with me. Every single year, every time we're like, well, Below could be dropping this year or whatever, we had games coming out every year. If it wasn't Assassin's Creed Odyssey, it was Assassin's Creed Origin. If it wasn't Forza Horizon, it was Forza Motorsport. If it wasn't this, it was that. You know what I'm saying? Every single year, games come out. So, I don't know. Let's, K-Mega, are you here, brother?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Now, I distinctly, correct me if I'm wrong, I distinctly remembering you on this show talking about Below and hyping it up. How come you have not downloaded and played this game yet, man?
Man, I got caught up into the phenomenon of Assassin's Creed Origins.
Origins? Yo.
Bro, I mean, I got Odyssey, right? And I just didn't want to jump into Odyssey knowing that I had Origins day one from last year and just didn't get a chance to play it. And then I after I got
you
done,
just played Odyssey because it's a way better game.
well, if Odyssey is that much better than
He's trying to go chronological, is what he's doing.
Yeah, right. And also, and if Odyssey is
that's
that
not even
much better,
chronological because
Odyssey is the first.
Odyssey is before that.
well, I'm just saying I didn't want to play Odyssey before Origins, and so I just like, all right, let me jump in on look. Let me just make this point. If Odyssey is that much better than Origins, then then I agree with Pred and whoever else that said that this game should have had a lot more recognition for Game of the Year because Origins is legit. I'm not a big Assassin's Creed fan, but now this game is turning.
That's why you like Origins. It's not Assassin's Creed.
It is. That shit is dope.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Hold on. He'll be back. Hold on. I think we started already with there we go. There we go.
Okay. All right. I have no life this game, and since I gotta go back to work Monday, it sucks. But I'm gonna try to finish it. You know what I'm saying before then. But that's one of the reasons why I haven't jumped on Below. But lo and behold, I'm playing Below right now, and I already have it downloaded.
He heard me starting to call people out. He's like, "Oh, hold on, let me play that shit right now."
I can't call it out like that because I have talked about this game. I seen it at E3, and it looked interesting. I just didn't get a chance to play it. But I'm over here listening, and that's why I had my mic muted because Kris is right off the bat. Like, yeah, you're on this little boat, but the music is epic. Like, it's just the deep sound, the tones, the rain, all of that looks really cool. But that was the one reason. This backlog, all these games that I've been playing and that I've beaten here this year, and then I'm like, okay, it's time for me to start hitting some of this backlog, and that's why I got to it. So, I mean, thank God for Game Pass because I wouldn't want to pay. Well, I should say that more for Ashen. I didn't want to pay no $40 for Ashen.
Yeah, that is kind of steep for that game.
I could pay $24 for Below, but $40 for Ashen. Even though Ashen is really good, it's still not to me worth $40. In that retrospect. But yeah, no, that's
Game Pass.
I do got Game Pass.
He said that in the beginning, Dark. Weren't you listening, man?
Yeah, that's what you said. So,
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. He's all talking about like $40, $24. I'm
well,
like,
because
dude,
I like to buy my games. I like to buy games. I like to show support to the developers. But also, you know what I'm saying, Game Pass is for when I don't want to. Yeah, I know. So, I mean, I got it right now. I'm over here. I'm on the beach right now. So, you can get back to me here in about right after you get done with everybody else.
Well, check this
you
out.
You can get back to me when I die. And then never come back again.
Right. I'll be done.
Check this out. Huge shout out to everybody in the chat. It looks like people are really filling into the show now. Guys, do me a favor. Hit that thumbs up button for me. Share this out on social media, whether it's Twitter, whether it's Facebook, or Pred. What's the other social media that we go with?
MySpace.
There we go. Yo, even Kris like MySpace. Yeah. But guys, I already served my papers when it came to Below a long time ago. I said they have taken way too long on
Oh,
this
Chris is
little
right.
game.
Damn, the dude, the little guy is way out there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Wow, and and I'm not that far from my TV, and I just bought this new television, and this
He
this
put
dude
on his
needs to be.
bifocals,
Yeah,
man.
there are times where it gets closer, but I really don't feel like it's close enough. Like I really like Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. Like that would have been a perfect like camera height for it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like I
it's
get
a
they
little
want to
bit too far
expand it because it's such a cool like the atmosphere of the game's really cool, but
away. Damn.
you know, it's
Art
really
choices,
small.
man. It's all down to art choices. But I am really interested to hear our rookie of the year, Knox. Like Knox, I know you have been a gamer for a long time. I don't know if you ever got into the old school Zeldas or anything like that, but
Love 'em.
all right. So throughout like the history of Below before it launched, were you one of the people that were like, "Yo, when this game comes out, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna play it because it just reminds me of Zelda."
I was one of the people that when they showing that on the screen, I got up to go, bust a pipe or something and be like that.
Hell yeah.
I have zero interest in that game from when I just don't. Those games, they just don't draw my attention. If it's an RPG, it's an RPG. I don't know what kind of game that is. You know what I mean? Like I just didn't even look into it. It's on Game Pass. You guys are talking about it. I might download it and check it out, but
If you got Game Pass, it's worth the check out, you know? It really is.
I'll try it. I'll check anything out, bro. It's on Game Pass. I'll check it out. But
well, you get a pass then, man. You get a pass because, like, first off, you're the newest member here, so I don't have a long list of things you have said that I can kind of, pull out of my back pocket and be like, yo, what's going on with this right now? But so you said you'll try it out at some point in time. You don't sound too excited. It doesn't seem like you were ever really that excited for this game.
yeah, no, like I said, it never really drew my attention. So, I can't really speak on it if you guys like it or hate it. I guess that's your opinion. I can't, I'm not gonna be the judge of anything. But no, didn't draw my attention at all.
All right,
But
well,
I will check it out though. You guys talking about it, and then it's Chris says it's worth a check out, then I'll check it out, bro. Absolutely, why not?
oh,
It's there.
I can't wait to hear. I can't wait to hear your video about it, man.
I'm probably gonna hate it like I hate Ashen, but we'll see.
All right. Well, let's get to the last man on the list when it comes to this. Yo, Predator. You've been on the show for a while, and I don't know what your history is with games like this when it comes to like old school Zelda or anything like that. I don't think you were ever really like that excited for this game, but what's the deal? How come you haven't downloaded it and given it a try yet, man?
I downloaded it while we were talking because I wanted
Again,
to try it
just like K Mega. Oh my goodness.
I haven't been on my Xbox at all today, so and I know it came out I think yesterday, right? It's crazy because I'm sitting here looking at Metacritic to see the scores, and like they haven't even scored it yet, so they're not playing it either.
They're not, yo, for real. You're
No
like,
one's
yo,
reviewed it
why
on
should we
They
play
died the
that?
first time and decided to turn it off too.
No, we got Assassin's Creed. We got Red Dead. Like, what are we doing playing this, man?
Yeah, and I think Otter's right, man. Like, there's so much other shit to play. This game is going to be one of those you put on the back burner. See, even Ashen, I haven't really gotten into yet, just because I've been either just doing too much other shit, Christmas shopping, playing Red Dead, playing, Ghost Recon, playing other shit besides this. And so, like, for me to get into Ashen or even Below, it's going to take at least a couple more weeks because I got other shit I want to play, and this is one of those games you pick up, you play it, you put it down. Unless you're just really, really interested in it, you're probably not going to finish it.
Yo, Brett, I got an even better question for you. You down? You want to hear it?
Go ahead.
All right, check this out. Now, with Ashen coming out this year, Below coming out this year, us getting State of Decay 2, Forza Horizon 4, Sea of Thieves. At the beginning of the year, like people were talking about Xbox in terms of their games and lack thereof. Do you think? Do you think now, like, because these people also, when it came to indies at one point in the generation, was talking about indie games being the absolute shit, all right? Like, being, like, top tier and stuff like that. What do you think about kind of like that, the exclusive lineup now that, we're in December now, we're going into next year. Next year, a whole new batch of games are coming out. Do you still consider this, like, a light year with Xbox, or are you a little more surprised at like the offerings that came out this year on the platform? Then
I still think it was a kind of a light year. I mean, we got Forza. I think that was like the highlight for me as far as exclusives go.
Mhm.
Like, no one's going to talk about Ashen and Below. You know, like you're not going to hear too many people mention.
I
these
hear
two games.
Ashen is like critically acclaimed, like getting high
Yeah,
ratings.
I've heard good things about it, but like, talk to me next month and see if anyone's talking about Ashen. You know, so
Oh shit!
No one's gonna be talking about Ashen next
no
month,
one's
I
going to be talking about
guarantee
Ashen next month. Yeah, so like, no one's
it.
talking
Resident
about Below
Evil
now.
and
And it
freaking
just
Kingdom Hearts
released.
3? Hell no. Nobody's gonna be talking about that shit.
So like, I mean, they released it, and again, these two games specifically, those Ashen and Below, have been in development hell. I won't say it that way. It's taken a while for them to come out, and it's like, you know, even with Cuphead, like it took a while, you know. And honestly, I ain't gonna lie to you, because they kind of threw this on us last minute that we didn't hear about Below coming out until like what, maybe 2 weeks ago, and like we forgot about this game. To be honest with you, like, like you know, like most people are like, Below, when is that coming out? We forgot because, like you said earlier, this game was announced at the launch.
At the
We're in
launch, man.
2018, and it doesn't look any different now than it did back then. So, like, but what have you been doing for 5 years? Like, what the fuck has been going on? So, yeah, it dropped, and it kind of had like a silent launch. I think it was one of those like, let's just get this motherfucker out and be done with it.
Okay.
And we won't hear about it next year. So, as far as our lineup this year, I still think it was kind of shitty. And I think going forward, you know, you asked this question, so I'm gonna answer it. But I think going forward, like, because we didn't know what we're getting this year, and we don't really know what we're getting next year, as far as except for like maybe Gears and Crackdown. But like, because Microsoft's been so quiet about what they're releasing and when they're releasing it, it's kind of like, you know, we're just reliving the 2018.
Well, Phil did say expect a bigger year 2019. So whatever he means.
Did he
by
say that last year?
Yeah, are we going to get another greatest lineup in Xbox history?
Oh,
Yeah, is it gonna be one of those?
Well,
cancel
Chris-
two of the games. Like,
Well, Chris, I wanted to ask you the same question because, you know, we've hit that kind of like the console war side, you know, plenty times. I'm pretty sure people hit up your Twitter and stuff and talk about, you know, Xbox no games and all this good stuff. What do you feel now with Ashen and Below coming out? Is there any kind of change in feeling to what they have offered this year?
I mean, you know, a lot of people will point out to the Metacritics at any point they can get to kind of shit on Xbox, and
Yeah.
rightfully so. The games that they've been releasing haven't been on par with what Sony's been doing, and, you know, congratulations to Sony for what they've done. I think going forward, obviously Xbox has put themselves in a position to become I guess, more successful in the first party with acquiring studios. I don't necessarily feel like Ashen and Below kind of fill any sort of voids because, number one, they're not exclusive. They're not first party titles.
Well, they're timed, right? They're timed exclusives right now.
You know, I know Below is on Steam. I don't know if Below is going to come to PS4. Probably sometime next year. Same thing with Ashen. I could imagine it being sometime, but I don't know. I don't. Ashen's more of the Dark Soulsy type of game. It's not for me.
Okay.
So, I mean, I played it maybe 10 minutes and I was like, yeah, it's not for me.
All right.
But I feel like Xbox just they set the bar kind of so low for the last year that, you know, it's hard. It's going to be hard for them to have another down year like this.
I like that. They set the bar so low that anything coming out next year is going to be like a bonus, man. That's pretty much what you're saying, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously we know we're gonna get Gears 5 and Crackdown 3, which I guess I'm excited for, only because I'm getting it on Game Pass, so that's I guess a win. But I mean, after Crackdown 3 and Gears 5, what's next? Ori, and even then, that's not a Microsoft Studios, so.
I think Ori is on the
Ori's
verge of
yeah.
cementing itself in the
That's an
gaming
exclusive
industry,
regardless. Xbox owns that. So.
But Chris, I got to say, while we're talking, I want to let the community know you're watching the gameplay going on right now. You don't have to check your YouTube. You're in the right spot. Yes, our special guest has come across with his own gameplay that will be voted on tonight, going in tomorrow on my Twitter. And dude, you brought the fire.
I
They
kinda-
showed like 3 games that I just absolutely love. I'm just like, damn, dude.
Yeah, I figured I would want to put together kind of more of like a what is the word?
Greatest
A
hits?
collage, if you will. Yeah,
Oh,
greatest
collage.
hits. Like I used to say, Xbox record that quite a bit, and then I used to store all my clips and save them all. And then, I kind of got away from doing that. But I went through a lot of my clips. I feel like maybe I cheated a little bit by showcasing some of my better moments. But you know what? I had a lot of fun putting these together and reliving the moments, and especially The Witcher 3, man. I'm watching it right now. I still love that game. That's still my favorite
Yeah,
game.
The Witcher 3 is sick.
Bro, I think K Mega is very happy that he ended up tying Predator last week and he's not in the competition this week because I think he'd be sweating right now, to be really, really honest with you. But with that being said, Mega, what do you think, man? Now that we're getting towards the end of the year, games like, Ashen actually came out. People were doubting that. Below came out, which some people didn't think that game was ever coming out. Has it changed your mind in any sort of way in terms of what kind of like Xbox has offered for their platinum for their platform this year in terms of games, man? All right, great job, K Mega. Thank you.
K Mega's into below. He don't want to hear nothing.
Yeah. We're skipping
He's
you,
deep
Mega.
into
We're
below.
skipping you, Mega.
It goes with his Hennessy.
Uh-oh. All right, well.
Put lotion on right now.
Yeah. Well, I guess we're gonna skip him. We're gonna go into what actually was the first topic. All right. That I put down in the DM, and it's not necessarily number one in the DM, but let's talk Kingdom Hearts 3. And it seems that PlayStation 4, PlayStation, Sony are coming out with another. Oh shoot, what's going on here? I'm looking at the gameplay. Hold on. It's coming out with another limited edition, and it is a Kingdom Hearts 3 limited edition PS4 Pro. Now, Dark, I know you love Kingdom Hearts, so I'm gonna go with you first. Did you see the console? If so, what do you think about this limited edition offering from Sony, man?
It's cool.
It's cool. It's just cool. You're a Kingdom Hearts fan, and it's like it's cool.
Man. I mean, I can't really say much about it. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's Kingdom Hearts 3. It looks cool. I mean, am I gonna get that because of it? No, I'm gonna get it on Xbox. It's gonna probably play better, and I like the controller more on Xbox, so I'm gonna get it on Xbox.
All right, I got you. So no, you just like it's cool that. All right, I got you, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's like yeah, they keep on coming out with new consoles and stuff like that. That's fine. That's fine. For people who want to go out there and that's cool. But for me, I.
All right, we lost Stark real quick. So I'm moving on. Yo, Predator, what did you think about this console, man? Did you get a chance to take a look at it, yeah?
Just to make sure I'm looking at the right one. This was the all black one with the little etching on it, right?
Yeah, like kind of like the white grayish etchings across the top.
Yeah. Lame.
Lame?
I mean, I like
looks
the
good,
fact
man.
that I didn't really think it was all that. I mean, like this, like with all their custom consoles, and like it seems like it's like a cheap, just let me put something on a box and sell it and call it, call it a custom console. It's just like, I do wish Microsoft would do more custom consoles, but when they've done them right. You know what I'm saying? Like they go all out when they do theirs. So it's almost like they're diluting the market with PlayStation when they do this. It's like they make so many of them. Like kind of reserve that for shit that's gonna, it's almost like a cash grab.
Like why do they need to keep coming out with these consoles?
I'm gonna tell you why. Because it's not about the console. Not in this case, that ugly looking shit that they sell in there. It's not about that.
I think am I the only one that thinks it looks good?
It's about, well, you thought the God of War one looked
you're
good,
not the
and that
only
was
one.
hideous.
God of War looked great, man. What are you talking about?
That she was hot garbage. But again, they know that
Spider-Man
Kingdom
looks
Hearts
like hot garbage.
is going to sell, and if somebody hasn't bought a Pro yet, they might just go cop it with a bundled in Kingdom Hearts on it because it's a big name. That's the only reason they do it. It ain't because they looking out for because they just want to put PS4 Pros in the house, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad they do this,
which is brilliant. I'm not even.
I wish Microsoft would. And like I said, Microsoft, when they do their custom consoles, they go all out. And I was going back, back to the console corner days when I was on that podcast. Like I remember I got chastised because I said I'd rather have custom controllers and consoles. And so what did Microsoft do?
They
did
heard
a
you.
bunch of goddamn custom controllers. And
Yeah, but then they brought too many customers.
so
Now
but
they let you
my idea
customize them
was if
yourself.
you're gonna come out with a game like Crackdown, if you're not gonna make a custom console for it, make a custom controller for it, like they did with Sea of Thieves, and sell it alongside with the game or something like that, which they kind of did. And that Sea of Thieves controller, I think, is one of the best looking controllers I've seen in a long time. But they need to translate that over to their consoles.
I want that PUBG controller, man. It's got the
Minecraft one. Remember that one? Like the Minecraft consoles they came out with? They were amazing. However, they came out like 2 years too fucking late. Like they're late to the
Well, they also
party.
put them on the S, not on the X.
Exactly. They put them on the S, not the X. And if they're going to do custom consoles, they got to go with not just the S, they got to go with the X as well. And we haven't had a custom console since probably the Minecraft one, actually. Now I think about it.
Well, we did have the day one Project Scorpio. Technically, that was a custom console.
Yeah,
but
they had the Battlefield 1 too, that green one.
That green one, yeah.
I agree. I think with PlayStation, the way that they do their custom consoles, it just seems to me that they just kind of put stickers on it and maybe a different coat of paint. I think the way to do a custom console proper is the Gears of War console, where it's got it looks like it's all scratched up. It looks real beat up, but that to me is a custom console done right. I don't like the stickers or different paint jobs. It doesn't do anything for me. I think the custom controllers, you're right. The Sea of Thieves one was great, but they are saturating the market with a lot of just ones that you could pretty much make on the Design Labs thing.
Yeah.
So they need to do more games. I wouldn't mind seeing a Crackdown 3-1. I'd like to see what they could do. They should get Xbox Pope to make one.
Yo, Pope does some crazy designs, man. Huge shout out.
If it was like all neon lights and shit.
Yeah, it looks sweet if it was like the blue lights
If they
or
made
whatever.
a Crackdown
Or the orbs.
console, I would definitely buy it. I would buy a custom X Crackdown console. I would.
And here we have we have the winning gameplay going on right now. But guys, Sir X-Man has hit up the super chat. Yo, thank you, brother, so much for the support. He says K Mega is good in grip, but he needs practice in split second. Now, Sir X-Man, I've been known to play split second. I will get in with you guys, and I will definitely play that game with you guys. But I went to go start up grip after after my phone call or whatnot, and unfortunately I guess I uninstalled it, so I have to reinstall that game. And huge shout out to Snap, it's Mel. Oh no, here we go. VR is life. Chris Steele do Kool-Aid Man voice. LOL.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. Another one in the super chat. Shout out to Face23, Brooklyn, New York. Kingdom Hearts Limited Edition Pro comes with all the Kingdom Hearts games. I'm sure that is pretty enticing.
Yeah, I did
to
not
Kingdom
know
Hearts
that.
fans. So yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's definitely enticing.
That's killer
But,
right
I mean,
there,
that's
man.
to do that? Not really. Because I mean, those games have been out already. Those games have been out for so long that you can get them for really cheap now.
Yeah,
Okay,
but the thing is, guys, that they want to put those pros in the crib, and that, like he said, it is enticing. If you don't own one and you love Kingdom Hearts, there's people that love that franchise. They're gonna pick it up. They're gonna pick
Isn't
it up.
Kingdom Hearts back in pack?
No.
No, there's nothing back.
Are they doing a remaster?
They have the remastered or whatever ones.
Coming. Okay.
At the 1.5 and the 2.8 or something like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say 2 point something or other.
Yeah, I remember hearing something like either back and pat or remake.
Yeah, I think they have 1.5, 2.5, and 2.8. That's right. Yeah.
All right, well, guys, I'm gonna leave this as a general question, and anybody can pick it up on the panel. With this being said, now I think the Kingdom Hearts Limited Edition, I think it looks good. I think it's right up there with the Destiny Limited Edition PS4. I like the way the look of each of them is. But I know Predator kind of touched on this, but guys, does it really? Is it like a I don't know, like a sharp pain every time you see another PS4 Limited Edition, and then you look over on Xbox's side and you can pretty much tell when it comes to the consoles and limited editions, like, oh, we're waiting until the next set of hardware. Do you get like a sour taste in your mouth every time you see one of these things?
Nope.
No, why not?
Not
man?
at all. Because you know why?
I'm only
Go ahead,
buying one. I'm only buying one console. At least this is me, right? This is my perspective. I got my console. That's it. I'm not a collector. I certainly controllers maybe, right? Because controllers, they wear down. If I don't need a new console, like if it doesn't just like die on me, and then maybe I'll be like, oh well, that Crimson Gears S looks pretty cool. I need a new S. It's reasonably priced. Let me get that. Let me grab that. But if I already own one, it's not going to entice me to go out there and buy one just because it's got, a coat of paint on it. And my dude, for a Disney game like Kingdom Hearts, that ugly ass Pro, that shit is ugly. They needed to draw some vibrant, colorful Disney characters on it. And let me see Simba on there or Mickey, somebody.
Hell yeah, Mickey.
You got like a freaking million Disney characters. You're gonna put some
if
black.
They just put if they just put Mickey on the top, people would really be like, "Oh, they threw a sticker on that and just called it a day, man."
I'll be honest.
If
If they put Donald Duck on a Pro, I'd buy it because Donald Duck's my homie. I love Donald Duck. He's the best.
I'm telling you, man. Like
here's the thing. I never cared about the whole custom consoles because I am more inclined to just buy either a white or a black console because of the fact that it's just going to sit there. If it wasn't just going to sit there and I was going to display it and I was going to show it off to people who came over and stuff like that, then yeah, of course I would, buy custom consoles. But for me, it's just like, it's just going to sit there. I'd rather just buy the one that comes out right away, be the early adopter, be that one person that's just like, I'm going to go out and get the game that Xbox or PlayStation day one and put it under my cabinet and then just play the fuck out of it,
It's funny that you're saying that now, Dark, but I distinctly remember back in the day when we were getting Halo 5 limited editions, Gears limited editions, and stuff like that. It's like, yo, those things are fucking cool. And
no, they look cool. I'm not saying that they don't look cool. Like, all the consoles look cool except for, maybe the God of War one. Well, actually, the God of War one actually looked kind of cool.
Dude, what they did with the axe for the God of War one, I know people are hating on it.
Ones look cool, but it's like the Spider-Man one I thought was kind of too bland. I thought they could have put some blue in there, something like that.
Yeah, that was just red with a white spider like decal on it, man.
And every time I see a custom console, I'm always thinking to myself like, does it look good? Does it really look good? Is it gonna look good where I'm gonna put it? Not really. For me personally.
All right, we got.
For other people, yeah, I get it.
Yo, check this out. We got thumbs in the super chat. Thank you, brother, for the support. But basically, he says, you guys are this console generation of have-nots. Now, I don't agree with you on that, man. Like, I know there's people out there saying, Xbox has no games and stuff like that. But if you look at the beginning of this generation going into the middle, everything was it was a complete 180. You know what I'm saying? Like, you look at it now, Xbox has kind of like the power crown. And the exclusives don't come out as much. Whereas the beginning of the generation, PS4 had the power crown and the exclusives didn't come out so much. You see what I'm saying? It just seems like everything has been kind of like flip-flopped. You can split this generation in half, and it's just like it mirrors itself on the opposite. And Sir X-Man in the super chat.
It's completely nuts, dude.
Dude, it's crazy when you think about it, like how everything just kind of did this whole 180, man. It's weird.
Everybody just kind of like turned their back on everything, and
I've never
like,
seen that in one generation.
I'm gonna be this kind of gamer now. It's like, what?
But Sir X-Man hit up the super chat as well. He said the Star Wars console was awesome. Now,
yeah, it was.
I'm glad you guys liked it. I'm going to leave you to that, and I'm glad you enjoyed it, and I'm just going to move on from there because that was one of the ones I thought they just threw a sticker on and called it a day.
It looked like trash, dude. That shit looked like trash.
It was R2-D2. It wasn't bad.
No, it was Darth Vader.
Darth Vader.
Oh, that's Star Wars console.
Yeah.
I was thinking of the 360 one.
Yo, the 360 one was killer.
No, the 360 one was sick, dude.
Yeah.
Because that's the only Star Wars console that I was thinking of. I totally forgot about the PlayStation 4 one. Yeah, that one was stupid.
All right,
You're right.
We're gonna need some help from the community. I just checked the Hangout, and for some rhyme or reason, I do not see K Mega in here with us. So, community, go out there on Twitter and ask K Mega, yo, where the hell are you, man? Like, what the hell's going on here?
K Mega.
K Mega.
Okay, mega. Yo. But on that note, guys,
What?
let's move on to a
Will,
topic.
Will.
Okay, did you get it out of your system? You good now? You got it?
Yes.
All right,
Yeah,
all right.
I'm
I'm just making
good.
sure. Let's talk about a game, a franchise that I absolutely love. 343 came out and did kind of like this documentary, this live stream showing how they created that kind of like, I would call it, new engine demonstration with Halo Infinite. And Twitter has been going absolutely crazy, saying that 343 is saying that, they're kind of like going back to the Halo roots and bringing Halo back to what it used to be. Now, I have gone on record ever since Halo 5 came out. I absolutely love Halo 5. I love the Spartan abilities. I love what they did with the multiplayer. I was waiting.
I agree. Everything about the Halo 5 multiplayer is great as far as like the boost jump, the ground and pound. I love that. I don't want them to take that away.
So, well, Chris,
I think that would be going backwards.
Well, Chris, and that's kind of why I put that in the title. Like, there's people out there now with the Halo community. You have kind of like these devoted, hardcore, old school Halo guys in the community that basically just want either Halo 2 or Halo 3 reskinned and done over every year, and they'd be happy with that. Me, I like seeing a franchise go forward. Dude, with people saying that they're going back to what Halo used to be, I want to ask you, Chris, what do you think they mean by that? And are you concerned, seeing as how far 343 has come with Halo 5, at least in the multiplayer? Are you concerned that they're going to take a step back with Infinite, man?
I don't know. Obviously we haven't really seen any gameplay. I think Halo Infinite, in my opinion, I think there's going to be some time travel involved with it. So I think maybe going back to what Halo used to be, I think maybe more so the art style as opposed to gameplay mechanics. I think Halo 5, as far as gameplay mechanics go, is top notch and probably the most fun I've had playing Halo multiplayer. So I would hope that they don't go back from that. Going forward, I don't know what they can do, because in my opinion, Halo 5 multiplayer is perfect. Now, I'm not the one making the decisions over at 343, but if they're making decisions, I would hope it's to better the game, not make it worse.
Well, see, my whole thing here, and Chris, like, we're having a little discussion here. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but there comes a point in time, especially with a franchise, where it's either move forward or cater to like that hardcore kind of like smaller group of gamers that just wants the same thing that they have done over again. I'm a little concerned with like how Rocky 343 has handled the negative outcry for certain aspects of Halo 4 and Halo 5, and how they really seem like they wanna please everybody. And I feel like if they keep that idea, they're gonna end up like screwing over their franchise. Does that make any sense to you, man?
I like the old saying, "Too many chefs spoil the broth."
Yeah.
And I think community feedback is great, but if you listen to the community too much, you could be taking a step back. Mm-hmm. I don't know what Halo Infinite's going to be. The only thing that I've ever really thought is that there's going to be time travel involved, because like with the art style being going back to what it kind of looked like in Halo 1. Mm-hmm. But I'm not concerned yet, because I haven't seen a lot.
All right.
Obviously at E3 we'll know more about Halo Infinite, and after E3 we could have this discussion again.
People are scaring me right now, man. I will let you know right now, people are scaring me, because when it comes to communities out there, it's been clearly stated Halo has like the most toxic community. There are absolutely great gamers in the Halo community, don't get me wrong, but when it's all said and done, you're never going to make that entire community happy. It's never going to happen, yo.
That's why you're not supposed to. They gotta just put their vision, make their vision come to life. Whatever it is that 343 wants Halo Infinite to be, that's what it's gotta be. They just gotta give birth to their child, bro. They want that. That's it. Bring their vision to life. Forget about what the community thinks. You could take things under opinion and under advisement, absolutely.
Yeah.
But bring your dream to life. That's it, bro. You can't sit there. It's just like Destiny, right? They keep giving it back to the D1 guys. They keep ruining it,
And
in my opinion.
They're pushing me away now. Like the more you're making Destiny 2, Destiny 1, and I told you this the last time we were in a party, I'm like, yo, dude, you might catch my first kind of like negative Destiny 2 video coming out this week on my channel. Because it feels like they're catering more to the Destiny 1 people, and now me being a Destiny 2 guy, they're kind of pushing it away. Now, do you think 343? Do you think they are gonna push forward with their vision when it comes to Halo, man?
I would hope so. They're not. These guys are not morons, man. These dudes, they're not stupid. They know what the community wants. They know what people expect a Halo game to be, right? But they also want to put, they want to bring their artistic, know-how across, man. They, like I said, they want to bring their vision to life. At least that's what they should want to do. Don't just make a game just to make a game. Nah, bro. Rockstar brought their vision to life, right?
They have a direction, man, and you got to follow.
Exactly. Look at God of War. When people, I remember for all the shit that they talk now, how, oh my God, it's great, it's fantastic, which it is. Don't get me wrong. I loved it.
He's like, which came right in with that, yeah.
But I was very excited when I saw that new direction it was going in. I was one of the, yeah, baby, yes, thank God. I stopped buying God of War games because it was just the same rinse and repeat, throw your freaking blades of chaos around, same gameplay. I loved it, part 1 and part 2 and part 3, but I didn't want to see that no more, man. We had the PSP versions, we had the other one that was a remake, and I was very on board with them going in the direction that they wanted to go in. And look, the game is a 10, bro. It's brilliant.
All right.
And I want to see the same thing. I think we're gonna get that with Gears. With Gears 5, I
knew you were gonna throw Gears in there somewhere,
I have
brother.
to, bro. I love me some Gears. But after playing part 4, and I was on the cusp of not purchasing part 4, but I did, and I enjoyed it. I loved it. But I'm like, yo, I don't want more of this. If 5 is more of this, I'm out. Game Pass, all right, cool, whatever. But me buying it, I'm out. And I buy like 17 versions because I got to get one for my wife. I got to get one for me. I got to get one for the kids. Everybody wants to play Gears, so I got to get.
Damn, you got more kids than Bot does.
Oh yeah, bro. I got 4 kids, bro.
Oh, we're tied. We are tied, brother. We are tied. There we go, dude.
Yeah,
we can take our armies.
Don't let him fool you. Bot has like 15 kids.
Knox. We could bring our armies together and we could rule the world, man. I'm just saying, we can do that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but well, Knox, I want to ask you because people are talking about Halo going back to the way it used to be now. What do you think that would mean then if they're gonna push forward? Say they're gonna push forward. What do you mean? I know Kris said art style, and that makes sense. Even though hold on, 343 did state that kind of like demonstration with the engine, like that Spartan armor wasn't necessarily Master Chief's Spartan armor. So where do you think that bringing it back to what Halo used to be? What do you think that could mean, man?
That's the only thing that I could assume it means. Once I saw like the lush green environment, you know what I mean? It reminded me a lot of Halo 1. You know what I mean? Like those earthy planets. You know what I mean? That's the only thing that I can believe because you can't take it back to what it used to be any other way, in my opinion. You know what I mean? I think it's got to be, you got to bring something fresh and new to the board. I think it's the art style and that bringing like those earthy planets, the forests and then the grass on the ground and dirt and stuff, more kind of like, even like part 4 that had like those exotic looking worlds, with crazy plants and stuff like that, kind of like the Destiny. What's that ugly planet that I'm always dissing when we play?
Is Io.
Right. You know what I'm saying? You know,
That's
something
the
like that.
that's the puke yellow planet. Yo.
Yeah, you know, but you know,
Horrible,
bring more of those worlds instead of that metal kind of feeling like Part 5. I thought Part 5 looked awesome, but it felt real, like if they were like in spaceships and stuff. Everything felt metally to me, like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you know, maybe it'll be, you know, Halo 1 was a little more open worldy. It felt like, especially when you landed on the Halo planet for the first time. So maybe that way more so.
Dude,
Where you can have multiple paths to get to places. Maybe that's what they mean by taking it back to the roots.
You know, I've been on record of saying ever since 343 kind of took over Halo, I thought that they've been like smoke and mirrors when it came to the campaign in terms of how open it was. Like you would have these very linear kind of like hallways, whether they were outside or whatnot, into kind of like more open areas, but it was never the way it was. Like
it was
Halo
always
1
holding
and
your
2.
hand to a path.
Exactly, man. And you know what's funny? Before, like, I didn't even think about it until Knox said it, but that demonstration was a lot greener. It reminded me of the first time you set foot on a Halo ring on the very first Halo. It definitely did have that same feel to it.
And that was dope when that went, bro. When I first played Halo, man, that shit was hot, man. Like that made me cop an Xbox.
Oh hell yeah!
it was that game. I can't even front,
dude. The first time I ever played an Xbox, it was my cousin Paul's, and he let me play Halo. And we had a family get together at my aunt's house, and I ended up staying in his room the entire time. Like I would not give up the controller. I was like, man, I gotta get an Xbox. That was it. It was that game right there.
That and Splinter Cell, bro.
Oh, look at that! K Mega is back, and Mega, I'm glad that your computer updated. Hopefully, all those viruses from Pornhub are out, and now you are good to go.
He finished his below.
I think that's the funniest
Hennessy
thing Bot's ever said.
But I don't know why I feel like messing with K Mega tonight. I don't know what it is, brother. I don't know what it is, but just remember you're my brother, man. And
well, it's because he was late. He was K Diva today. That's why.
Well,
regardless of the fact, look, I've been playing below while I was doing this update. I'm already saying that I'm not even digging this game because one thing I hate about games. I bet this game is going to be
dude,
pretty
we've
good.
been waiting 5 years for the game, though, man.
Okay, but hold on. This is the thing. The one thing I have a pet peeve about any video game is they kind of throw you in somewhere and then they want you to, I guess, be immersed into something to where you figure it out. No. You let me learn what's going on first, then you immerse me. Don't let me be walking around in some damn tall ass weeds trying to get into a cave and there's shit's getting on my nerves. But anyway,
that's how Lady Mega snatched you, right? Like, yeah, she immersed you after the fact. I got you, brother. But
hey, can I say one other thing about Below that I actually really think is kind of cool, even though it's real cheesy? I like when you swing your sword in the tall grass and it cuts it.
Yeah, like little animations is cool. I'm like little animations and things is pretty cool. But I'm like, what's going on? I'm just running around in the weeds, and I went into a cave. The door wouldn't open. Then I looked and pulled out my torch. I mean, I lit a fire. All this other. Okay, anyway. So, all right, what was the question? Let me just move on.
Well, hold on. I will get to you right after I get to Predator. We are doing that Halo discussion and what they mean by bringing Halo back to what it used to be. And we've been having an awesome discussion. I think somebody's loading a clip right now. Yo, that's what it sounded like real quick. I'm like, oh, shit.
That could be me.
Yo.
Anyway, let's go.
Oh, damn. Yo, Predator, I got to ask you, what do you think they mean by bringing Halo back? I think we've had some great conversation in terms of the art style. Do you think it's that direction? And do you think 343 might be thinking too much about kind of like the old school Halo community and trying to please everybody and bringing Halo Infinite out, man?
I think they're trying to go back to the roots of the story. It's my personal.
That's going to be hard to do, man. They already built up so much.
I understand that. And I mean, I could see this as it not necessarily. Think of like, what was it, ODST, where they didn't really have Master Chief in there. They had just other, soldiers in there. Maybe they're going to go that route and kind of go into a little bit of that story. I mean, I don't know. I haven't read too much on. I'm trying not to spoil myself with Halo because I know it's going to be a while. But I think they're going to try and
you
get
want
more.
another one, right? Are you in the same? I'm in a camp where we need some information, man. I feel like I have been starved, man. Like
Microsoft's tactics, man. They're going to starve you any
oh
fucking
my
way.
goodness, man. They
So
learned that
they're
from
going to wait
Sony,
till the
by
last
the way.
minute to release anything, or you're not going to hear about it until you actually get to play the game and see the story. But I would like for them to go back to the story-driven Halo. This last one, 5, was, I don't know, it seemed like it got off a lot, from what the original Halos were. Now, can they get too deep into the weeds and start listening to their fan base too much? Yes. I don't think they're doing that, but I can see them going that route as well, just because, the people that made this game popular, those guys that know the lore and know the history and read the books, and, they know what they want Halo to be. You've had developers switch and change. So like, the main story has got kind of lost. They're just trying to, this scene, like at this point, it's almost like, let's make as much money off of this franchise as we possibly can and fuck the story. I think that's what Halo 5 did, because like the story was shit to me.
I can kind of see that in a certain way, because they were planning, the movie. They had kind of like the Xbox TV thing going, where they were kind of planning a show, kind of like really trying to rake in as much money.
Yeah, they need to peel back from that and just kind of focus on what made Halo what it was, which is the video game and the books, of course. And stick with that lore, stick with what's going on with that aspect of it, and stop worrying about all this other outside shit like the movies, video. I mean, like the movies, the TV shows, stuff like that. I think the universe grew bigger than what they're expecting, and people started getting. It's like Star Trek or Star Wars. People get so immersed in it, they know everything about it.
Oh hell yeah!
The people who are like that, they know when something's weird happening with the franchise, right? Like, why has this guy got a purple lightsaber? That wasn't in the books. Like shit like that. And that's how people are with Halo. Like they've been reading the books and stuff like that for so long, and following the lore, and like doing everything that you can possibly do in this franchise. And then, the game comes out and they're like, we weren't expecting this. So they got to get back to that, the basic roots. I mean, I love the story of Halo. I wasn't really big into the multiplayer aspect of it, even though it was fun, but I enjoyed the story. And this last story just didn't do it for me. Like, this is the first time I actually beat a Halo and didn't remember what the fuck I was doing. Like what? So like
what just happened? It says it's the end, but I don't understand. Like,
yeah, like up until maybe 3, I followed it pretty well, and then 4, I was kind of okay. 5 just.
See, I thought the 4 story, I thought the campaign in 4 was amazing, man. The emotion that was in there. It wasn't necessarily kind of like the layout of the gameplay or anything, but the story, the way the story progressed, and seeing kind of like Cortana go through what she was going through and getting worse and worse level after level. That got to me, man. As a Halo dude, that got to me, dude. But Pred, I gotta ask one more thing, because the other big rumor here, and I think Knox and Kris kind of talked about it a little bit. What do you think are the chances that Halo Infinite, with them saying they're going to be pushing boundaries as well, so they're kind of really they're talking in code. 343 is talking in code that I don't have the cipher ring for, but what do you think is the chances that it's going to be an open world Halo game?
I think it's pretty good, man. They mentioned this before, like a couple of years ago, that they could go this route. So I mean, it's possible. I think they can kind of go more. God, I hate to say this word because it's going to trigger you. The Destiny route, where they have like those little missions and stuff like that you can go do. I hate to see them do that. I want them to follow the main story.
How dare you?
But again, like I was saying a second ago, it's like at a certain point, it's about making the money, because they're trying to do these game as a service type shit too. So it isn't just going to be a single player / multiplayer like Halo 5. I think they're going to branch out and kind of make it like one of those ongoing games for, to keep it, relevant for a couple of years, at least maybe 2 years.
Yo, shout out to Sir X-Man, who's been hitting up the super chat. Thank you so much, brother. He says, Team Save Locke.
Goddamn right.
Locke's never coming back.
Oh,
he's gonna die.
No,
don't be so sure about that.
Don't kill. Yo, he's got a bunch of free time.
Let Fred do his thing.
He's got a bunch of free time. You know, he's not really doing the show for Netflix anymore, so he's got some time to really put in with voice acting and stuff like that. So
Mocap.
Well, he wasn't even the voice actor of 5, so there.
what happened?
He didn't even
He
do
wasn't
his
the voice.
own
He
voice.
wasn't the voice. He just was the person.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
It sounded like him, but
Yeah, I
it
was
wasn't
gonna
him.
say that sounded a lot like I hear him and I
It was-
think Luke Cage, man. Maybe
Well,
it's a visual thing.
it,
Yeah.
it was in
Hold on, he'll be right back. There we go. We're
Go
back.
ahead.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. God said, you know what? We can't hear K Mega talk about this right now, and he got cut off, man.
I heard him the whole time.
I did
Yeah,
too.
you did, but I know the chat didn't because
didn't.
everything that
Oh,
I
okay.
hear is what they hear. So,
Oh, okay.
but yo, I gotta ask, Dark, what do you think about this, man? What do you think they mean by bringing Halo kind of like back to what it used to be, dude?
I think that what they're talking about is what Kris was saying. You know, I think they're gonna go back to more of that old style look of Halo, but still keep that kind of Halo 5-ish feel to gameplay and stuff. I just hope that they kind of take what they did with Halo 4's story, and then put the multiplayer of Halo 5, and then it would just be fine. I mean, it would be a great game, honestly. It just depends, man. I mean, it really, I think the community is just too invested into the Halo to like really see what 343 is trying to do, and they're just kind of like, oh no, they're ruining Halo. I can't stand
I
it.
hate hearing that, man. Oh, you have no
Yeah.
idea, dude.
It's so annoying. It's like guys, like you got to understand that like even people who hate like Pred said, Star Wars and stuff, like they still like aspects of Star Wars, even though there's like some of the movies are not as good to them or whatever. But
Mhm.
it's like it's not gonna be for everybody. Like there's gonna be a Halo game that you're not gonna like. There's gonna be a Halo game that you absolutely love, and that one you can go back and you can play it if you want. It's just you have to give things a chance, and you have to let 343 do their thing.
Yeah, I got you, brother. And at the end of the day, I really hope 343 developers. I know there's a few developers that watch the show. If you're listening in right now, or if you tune in after the fact, when you got a free time during the week, guys, do what you got to do, man. Have your direction. You have a community there that will really buy into your creativity and everything like that. I feel like when it came to the multiplayer in Halo 5, they kept the heart of a Halo
It's
game.
fantastic.
They kept the heart of Halo in it, and then they added new abilities and made you feel so much more powerful that I was like, man, you can't.
They made you feel like a tank.
Yeah, you
like
can't
you should be.
step back from
and
that,
they need to expand on that too,
Exactly.
because that was dope. I liked all the additions to Halo 5, bro.
Dude, I got a Spartan rank multiplayer at 146 right now. The top is 152, man. And
Is
I'm
Don
asking
getting
that
close to you?
PvP, but
What's up, Dark?
Is Don getting close to you?
He's getting
Is he
close.
close?
138.
He's getting close.
138. He's
So
catching up.
stupid.
He's catching up, man.
He's catching up.
Well, let's ask, Mega. I do know you like the Halo 5 multiplayer. We've been in there. We've rocked out with the community. Playing the multiplayer and stuff like that. What do you think 343 means by bringing Halo back to what it used to be? Do you agree with pretty much everybody else on the panel? They're talking like art style in terms of being on the Halo ring, more organic with the trees and the grass and stuff like that. More like that feeling you felt in Halo 1 when you first got on a Halo ring. Do you think they're going in that direction, maybe another direction? What do you think, man?
I think they're doing both, and I think that it's going to be more of the Halo 1 world. I do feel that it's going to be open world. For the people that's complaining the most, and I listen to with Halo Follower and all
There's
them.
There's a lot
and,
of them, man. Yeah.
Well, Halo Follower was the one I've been, and then it's just come to this one point to where they just completely just almost are sickening to listen to. Because it's just like what you said. It's just like there's sometimes you listen to the community too much and they will have you making the same game that was made, you know what I'm saying, 10, 15 years ago. And that will be fine with them. But for the rest of the community out there that just want to play a good game or a game that's a little bit different than something else, then they won't even go to it. It's like when we play the Master Chief Collection. And as much as I do love the Master Chief Collection and playing the story modes, when you play online, it's so dated. You know what I'm saying? It's still cool.
You're
it's
just
still
like, you're
fun
like,
when you
yo,
play
let's
with
go to Halo 5. Like, I'm done with this.
Man,
like,
let's get on that Halo 5, man. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Just looking at just playing Halo 4 multiplayer. I mean, it was never one of my favorite multiplayers because of the fact that it felt too far behind compared to when COD came on, Battlefield.
Well, that's the thing with the Halo 4 multiplayer. I feel like 343 tried to grab the COD part of multiplayer with the ordnance drops and everything like that.
I think that they tried to be more traditional they tried to blend in a little bit of both by bringing the traditional old style of gameplay, but it was just too slow. Even though the game didn't feel slow, but it felt dated. So that's why Halo 5 multiplayer is the best, and that's why nobody don't want to change that aspect. The story situation with me is that Chief is going to get that. They know that this world is expanded. They know that it's bigger than life right now. What they want to do is that they want to double down on Chief, make everybody happy on that aspect, but they also want to expand this universe.
You sound a little salty when you said double down on Chief. I heard that in your voice.
It does make it makes me sick. You know how I feel about this bot, and I mean the people that's been listening to the next podcast or listen to my videos. It makes me sick to my stomach to hear people say, "I just want Chief," and then we look at God of War. And the changes that they made, you know, I've been.
Yeah, but they didn't put a whole new other character.
Wait. Let me finish. Pump your brakes.
They didn't put a new. They didn't put a new character,
bro. Yes, they did. What do you think his son is?
Yeah, but you didn't play as him.
You played as Chief too. You did play as him. What are you talking about?
Barely.
What you mean barely? What you mean barely? You played with him the whole time. If you didn't have that kid, you wouldn't have beat the fucking game. Trust me. Did you beat God of War?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so tell me that you could have beat a Valkyrie or anything else without Kratos' son.
Oh, I could have totally beaten a Valkyrie without Kratos' son. I barely used him.
What?
Ooh.
Yeah, I barely used him.
That don't make no sense whatsoever.
Nah,
I mean, I guess.
But you know,
no. Let me make my point. Let me make my point, please. This is the thing that upsets me the most is that there's hardcore people, there's hardcore gamers that do not want to expand a franchise that is meant to be expanded. Now, when you want to talk about the messaging or how you like the story or don't like the story of Halo 5, that's your decision. I'm not here to debate that. But what I am upset with is that we can't just have the same protagonist all the damn time, and then you just think that that's going to roll over. You know what I'm saying, and make, you know, that might make that the smaller community happy, but that's not going to make the masses happy overall, because if you want to expand it, you got to include other characters and get them involved. Not saying that Locke's got to be in there all the time, or Team Osiris has got to be in there all the time, or Buck got to be in there all the time, or it's Red Team, but you do have to have other Halos in order for that universe to feel more complete than just keep it on Chief's story, because eventually it's got to end, or you got to have a way to prolong it so Chief doesn't fade off a lot quicker. You see what I'm saying? So yeah. I think that this game is definitely going to be an open world game. It would make more sense. I think that that's why I say with God of War, I think that that's kind of the direction that they're trying to go with, because like what they did with Halo 4, making it more making Chief more human, and not so much as robot-like. And then the situation with Cortana, all those things that's involved, it seems that it would make more sense to have some other people involved into it, or maybe they even go back to the very first Halo ring. Or I don't know how they're going to do this shit. I mean, if you kind of tie in what
It's
they
a
do with
toss-up, man. Like, what the hell?
yeah,
what the hell are they
toss-up
talking about?
because
Like,
if you finished Halo Wars 2, then it's more like there's all these tie-ins where everybody's got to come together at one point because Chief can't fuck with all these people at one time.
There's too much going on the negative side, man.
What Atriox got over there, what the you know what I'm saying, the
Cortana.
Covenant is still out there, the
Cortana.
Founders. You got what Cortana's doing. It is too much for Chief and Blue Team just to beat alone. That's why I say you have to make this universe bigger than just the individual. And I hope they don't just double down to the point to where it's Chief got to save the day and he destroys everything. That would destroy the Halo universe, in my opinion.
Mega, I hear what you're saying, and you have always made some really good points. Me personally, I like the character Locke, man. I love messing with you about him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
When it came down to it, man, awesome set of gear. I loved how he kind of took command of his units and everything like that. What they could have done in Halo 5 to kind of better the situation. Imagine if they did this. They had all of Master Chief's levels all in kind of like all in a row, right? Mm-hmm. You can beat Master Chief's levels and get Master Chief's ending, and then they had Locke's levels all in a row, and you choose one, and you kind of like you beat the game as one, but then you also can beat the game as the other and see the other side like continuously.
Right, and that's one thing and see, that's the thing about Halo 5. I think a lot of people just because Halo 5, I've said this a million times, Halo 5 is kind of like when you look at the Fast and Furious, it's like the Tokyo Drift of the Halo saga.
Great analogy.
You know what I'm saying? It's like
great analogy.
You gotta compare it to Fast and Furious.
No, because
it's a great analogy.
Because
it is
look,
pretty
if
good.
you think about it, a lot of people. Okay, there's some people that really like Tokyo Drift, and there's other people like it made no sense of what was going on. Whereas Vin Diesel, where's the rest of the team? You know what I'm saying? What the hell is going on? Who is this? Who is that? Right? And then when you go further into Fast and Furious, you see how important Tokyo Drift was, and that's what Halo 5 is. It's that middle ground to where the story is confusing because you're not understanding what's going on with these people and those and in this group and what the hell is going on with Chief and them and all that, to where it comes down to this next one where it's going to make a lot of sense to a lot more people. But the fact what they were trying to do was expand the universe to let other people be excited about somebody else other than Chief, because it's not about just Chief by himself.
Check this out.
Hold
on, real quick in this, because I gotta pay the bills here. Sir X-Man hit up the super chat again, and I can tell he really feels this comment right here, and I like where he's going with this. He says it's like you can have Tomb Raider without Lara Croft, but they added other people to complement her. Halo should do the same thing, basically.
Right,
and I can see that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Go ahead.
This is what I was going to say. The difference is, right, that yes, should they include Locke in future games? Absolutely.
He should have his own game, to be really honest.
Not just Locke, just Team Osiris.
Just like Atrius in God of War.
The thing is that it was. The thing is this. That it was just a little jarring. It was the same as when they replaced Snake with Raiden. Raiden wound up being a pretty dope character later, but when they initially did that, I was livid that they took out Snake. I wanted to play with Solid Snake, and that's why people buy Metal Gear.
People were pissed. I remember that.
Yeah, people want to play with Chief. That's why they buy Halo. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is, Raiden wound up being dope. It inspired his own game that was made by Platinum, if I believe, right? That was a pretty dope game too. And the same thing can be done with Locke. So I see what you're saying. I just don't agree that it's the same as Loki and Kratos.
Okay, understand. But this is the point what I say with that. Like if you look at God of War, because I know from how I was about this whole new look about God of War and this whole new atmosphere, like they making Kratos softer. Like what is this shit? And then it took Yeah, but you know what I'm saying, he's older, he's smarter, he's wiser. I mean, but
Right.
you know, different voice actor. What the fuck are they doing? They're ruining the best PlayStation franchise that they have. What are you doing?
I can't. Hell
But
no.
hold on. Let me finish. That was my main thought about this. They got some little whiny ass kid who you know what I'm saying. What the hell is this going to work? And thanks to Sin. You know what I'm saying? To Sin Vendetta, he sit there and got me the copy of God of War because I still don't think I would have bought it. I really don't. I really don't think. I just because I was just, you know me, I'm real stubborn and people in my ear about dumb shit. Like, look, if you ain't gonna get it to me, shut the fuck up.
You guys are comparing it to characters you can't play as. Like the whole Tomb Raider thing doesn't make any sense because that's the thing. Like, it's still Lara Croft. You're still playing as Lara Croft. Like, now if they did Halo 5 where you just play as Master Chief and then still have Locke in it, then I think a lot of people wouldn't have been upset about it. It's the whole fact that you play as Locke and people didn't want to do that. They wanted to play as Master Chief.
But you did also.
It's a different thing. It's not the same thing as you comparing it to God of War.
If you let me finish in the sense of it, then you would understand. You might get what I'm trying to say. If not, then,
I thought you were already finished. So.
but I'm not. But you know what I'm saying? Tough shit. But this is the point I'm trying to make. It's like this. With God of War, the whole change aspect of it, the diehards, you should go and read blogs when it first came out. There was people that just like me couldn't stand it. Like, I'm not supporting this trash. Where the fuck are they going with this? This sounds stupid. And then when everybody got a chance to actually play it, then it's like, hey, I got to eat crow. This game was really good. It was great. It worked. It worked. That's exactly what 343 is just going to have to do. They're going to have to just have these people say, get pissed off, get mad, and just do what you want to do with this brand. You cannot stay behind. You cannot stay behind Bungie's fucking shadow the whole time. This is your game. This isn't Bungie's game anymore. And that's the thing of it. I think people need to realize. Now, my last point on the whole,
it's Microsoft's game, so.
Well, 343 is the one making it.
Microsoft
hold on. Dark is not making the game.
Dark makes a great point there because if you look at it, if it wasn't for Halo, we wouldn't have an Xbox 360 or an Xbox One. All right. So when it comes down to it, yeah, you know, 343 is making the game, but you would be hard pressed not to see, you know, Microsoft and Xbox higher ups kind of looking at it as like that golden egg and like, you better not screw this up.
I disagree.
Hey, can I ask the panel a question?
What's up, man?
See, when Halo 2 came out, I was so hyped, and I will be honest, I hated playing as the Arbiter, and I still hate playing as the Arbiter because I liked playing as a Spartan.
But the story was great.
Yeah, the story was great, but I hated playing as the Arbiter. I didn't hate playing as Locke because I was still a Spartan.
That's a great point,
I think a lot of people probably liked playing the game and just shit talked on Locke just because it's Locke. I think a lot of it had to, for me anyways, was that like I said, I did not like playing as the Arbiter. I don't mind playing as Locke. I'm just curious, did you guys like playing as Arbiter or no?
I didn't mind it because it was only for like one couple levels, you know. This game, it's more like several levels, you know, where you're playing as just Locke, and it bothered me in the sense that I thought it was going to be more about like them battling each other, and it really wasn't like them battling each other. It was just them like chasing each other. They
kind of falsely told that narrative through that podcast.
Right. I put in that battle in my gameplay, by the way. Like Locke and Master Chief were duking it out in my gameplay. That
was cool. I was like, oh shit, they're doing some shit. But
that's where Microsoft made the biggest blunder.
Master Chief whooped his ass too, by the way.
Because that's where Microsoft made the blunder by trying to make this game into a Master Chief only game, and instead of trying to introduce it like they were supposed to. That part for what 343 did, I think a lot of people would have received the game a lot differently if they didn't do it. I think what I disagree with you on, Bod, is that, like, you know, this is Xbox's baby. They're going to look over this. I think the new era of Phil Spencer is like, look, we're going to give these developers freedom to do what they want to do. It's the same thing what's going on with Gears and the Coalition. When the Coalition
All right,
made
but
Gears
he wasn't there. He wasn't in that spot for Halo 5. Like this conversation was talking about Halo 5. I'm going to be really blunt with you guys. You know what happened, and this is what I really feel happened. Like when they announced when they first started working on Halo or whatnot, I feel like it was going to be a lock game. Halo 5 was going to be a lock game, which was why it wasn't Halo 5, but it was Halo Guardians. All right, I feel like they were making it a lock game, and then as they were going on in development, they started hearing rumblings from the community, and this is what worries me. Like if they were going to go in that direction and see what the hell happens, right? Put your chips in the middle of the table and let it roll. All right. If you feel like you can do that, if you feel like the direction is worth it, it's worth getting some of the gamers out there pissed off, then do what you got to do for the franchise, right? I feel like they heard the rumblings and the rumblings started getting louder, and they changed their focus, which is why you got the story that you got. It felt like it was kind of like just pieced together, like rushed wise, the way that they did everything. Like,
they changed the whole dynamic of it. That is an absolute fact. But the saddest thing about it is that they didn't give the game the proper chance they were supposed to, because if you remember at that time, Xbox was getting bashed by anything and everything at that point. So they didn't want Halo to get bashed. That like you said, at that point, that's their baby. That's
why I feel like it got delayed. It was supposed to come out earlier than when it came out as well, because they went back in there like, yo, we can't screw this up now. You know what I'm saying? But yo, Mega, you got some support in the super chat right now. Shout out to Lemon, who said, "What's good, fam? It's your boy 108 Dragons TV. Hashtag save lock, cause I got K Mega's back always, man."
No doubt. No, I mean, and look, there's more people out there that agree with my stance than what a lot of people.
And there's a lot of people that agree and just won't say it either.
Yeah, they just won't open their mouth to say them, because look, they just want to get Halo. And I'm not a Chief hater. I love Chief. The thing of it is that look, I want the Halo franchise to expand to what it was. I mean,
you want it to evolve, which is the same thing I said. Which is the same thing I said earlier.
Star Wars, it's that big to do that, and everybody knows that,
because they need to bring their vision to life. I don't think you were. I think you were still away when I was speaking about this, but that is what I said earlier. So I agree with you on those terms. Absolutely, they need to bring their vision to life. 343 needs to own it. Forget it. Yes, Microsoft's baby. If you're gonna make them walk on eggshells with the game, then don't give them the damn franchise. Just go make it yourself, or go get Bungie back.
Right.
And let them keep making.
Absolutely right. That's what I'm saying. Because I'm tired. Stop having. Well, there's.
Well, they got a couple of Bungie.
There are a lot of Bungie people, like old school Bungie people that are at 343, man.
But Bungie keep staying in Bungie's shadow, man. They got to make their own game. Just like I love that what Rod Ferguson said about with Gears. They was like, first, we know we're new to making this game, and we know that a lot of the fans out there, we didn't want to touch on it too much by trying to give out our vision. We wanted people to get a traditional Gears, and you know what happened? There was people still shitting on it, saying, "Oh, it plays just like the old Gears. It doesn't seem anything better."
They didn't do anything new. Yeah, yo, man, for real. But guys,
you know I'm not lying. And now they're saying, you know what? We're gonna do some crazy shit. We're gonna do something different. Let these people do this. Don't get mad at Microsoft and come out and put all this bullshit hashtag creative freedom, and then you don't want these devs to have creative freedom, and then jump on Microsoft because they were over here they was trying to listen to the public. Fuck that. Let the devs do what they want to do. If it falls on his face, then it falls on his face. But let the devs do what they were paid to do. Creative freedom. Let's see what they're going to do with their vision with Halo.
All right. Well,
I stand by 343.
Well, check this out, yo, Mega. Like, I hate to do this, man, because you got so energetic, about this topic. But we got to move on to the next one, and I feel like this might be the main event of the whole thing. Now, you put in an article into the DM, and it had to deal with Red Dead Redemption 2. And voice acting, a certain character, Charles Smith. I thought it was an absolutely great great idea for a topic. All right, they went in and they talked about who was voice acting Charles Smith. For people who don't know, Charles Smith in Red Dead Redemption 2, he is the man who is in the gang, who is part African American and he's part Native American. But yo, Mega, why don't you let people know why did you put that article in there? What was it about, and what do we want to discuss here?
Well, the only thing that I wanted to bring up was that it was interesting. I thought it was a little bit too far for what the article, what the person that wrote the article said, that it was racist. I thought that was a little bit too extreme, but it is to me concerning into a sense, because the voice actor that portrayed Charles was not a Native American African American person. It was a Asian person.
He wasn't either or. So he was an
Asian
it
wasn't
guy,
either
right?
or, but it was an Asian person. Now I understand because I got some information that basically that when it comes to these actors and actresses that do these roles, that they send in their information to people, and then if they sound great, then they love them, and they'll choose those people because they knocked it out the park. I get that, right? But when it gets to a certain point to where you do mocap and you do you get these certain individuals, it's like it's to me it's different than a cartoon. Like, I mean, you got a cat. We know that you could use anybody to talk for a damn animal. Mm-hmm. Or some kind of drawn character on that sense of that's not real. But when you're talking about the human element and then bring in racially motivated things within your game, I think to me you would have to that it would be the proper thing. Not saying that it's right or wrong, but for me, I think it's a proper thing to have that same type of individual portray that role. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of people that don't look like us, you know what I'm saying? Well, you know what I'm saying? They may look at this and say, oh, this is not a big deal. But for people like me that love to see more people like me to be recognized and win awards and things like that, I kind of look at it like, damn, I mean, why these type of people can't get the opportunity then just say this the same people that goes out and do the voices.
It's almost like what they call in Hollywood, almost like a whitewashing. Now, the guy who was the voice actor, like you said, he was Asian descent, all right? Mm-hmm. But basically what you're saying, it almost mirrors what they did in Hollywood, where they've done it with Asians, they've done it with African Americans in animation and stuff like that, where they wouldn't use
they've also done it with white people though too.
Well, that's why they. Well, I mean,
look
it was a big thing throughout.
He's voiced by a black guy. He's been voiced by a black guy this whole entire time.
And
and
here's the thing.
What Kratos was until they kind of blotted out at this.
Yo, that dude's jaw has a jaw, by the way.
When we said to I'm saying, of course, I'm saying, when you think of Greek, then he's not, but. You know what I'm saying? Just the ignorance of just certain people, which I was ignorant at the time. Like, because he was voiced by Carlton from Living Single. So I'm like, oh shit, they portrayed this dude as a black dude. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we all thought about it at one point in time until, you started really reading the history. But I don't know. I don't know, man. I just to me, it's not like, look, it's not a right or wrong answer to this. It's just, for me, I'm just like, I had an issue about like the chick that was in Uncharted 4, the black chick, and she was portrayed. She was voiced by a white woman. I'm like, why is it? And it's not about like it's a white woman that spoke for it. It's more for me like, why couldn't you have a African American woman just act that role? You know what I'm saying? I mean, for somebody that, because the woman that acted the role, she's like she's prominent, she's well known for doing all other type of voice acting, and I get that, like I said, but it's like, why somebody else can't get that opportunity? You know what I'm saying? That if you're gonna try to portray somebody to be that way, then let them be portrayed with the actual color, especially if you're gonna try to do, like I said, racial, the racial aspects of it, like you did. I just ain't feel it.
And that's the thing. Red Dead Redemption 2, when you look into it, first off, you can wander around in the map and you can come across the KKK. All right. Not only that, in the storyline, they have a huge thing when it comes to Native Americans and a certain tribe and like the military, United States military, trying to push them off their land. So K-Meg is right. There are there are racial kind of like there are big racial elements within
Right.
the campaign. Now, I look at stuff like this. I try to take a look at like the whole thing. Now, within the article, it did also state that basically every other African American character in the game, the voice actor was also African American. Every other Native American in the game, you look at the chief and kind of like the soldiers that the Indian soldiers that were with him and everything like that, they were all Native American as well. So when I look at this, I don't see it. If they made it like a whole thing with like the entire cast of characters, then I would be like, you know what, something is really fishy here. I don't really like this. You see what I'm saying? But with it being like all the other characters kind of matched up, it really seems to me like they picked the person that they thought the voice like really fit the character. I don't know. Like that's where I that's what I see is going on here. Like, yo, Knox, what do you think about this? Like, did you read the article?
I did.
DM?
I read the entire article,
Right.
and I'm kind of upset with myself that I did, because I feel like I kind of bought into what this person, because I'm not even going to say anything about the person that wrote it, was just trying to like create an issue where there wasn't one, in my opinion. Because the if you want to be concerned, like you said, right, if it would have been that everyone on the cast was white, voiced by a white person, no matter what, then I'd be like, yo, dude, that's pretty suspect, especially in a game where you got Spanish people, you got Native Americans, you got you got blacks, you got whites, got everything. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That would have been an issue, but that wasn't the case. I think they just wanted to create something and stir something up where there was nothing. I don't think it's an issue. This article actually tries to say that the character of Charles was garbage. I actually enjoyed the character.
He was
of Charles.
cool. He was one of my
I thought he was
favorites,
pretty
man.
dope. He was probably one of my favorite characters next to like
He didn't have a lot. He didn't have like a lot to say in the campaign or whatever.
But in the moments where where it was Arthur and him, I enjoyed those little scenes. You know what I mean?
Like I felt comfortable. I felt like even though he was an AI, he knew what the hell he was doing. Like it was cool to do missions with him.
Yeah,
like,
it was cool,
yeah.
and it didn't feel like somebody doing a parody of a Native American. The actor took his role serious, in my opinion. He brought it across excellently. You know what I mean? I don't think that there was any malicious intent on the part of Rockstar with this, or any like negative racial discrimination. You know what I mean? I just think that maybe this guy was just that great. You know what I mean? Maybe the people we don't know who tried out for it. You know what I'm saying? And out of everybody, he beat him out.
I agree. I think you're right. I think they're trying to push this narrative that there's a bigger issue that there was. I understand where K Mega's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like, wouldn't you want the best person for the job? Whether it's a voice actor, whether it's, you know what I mean? It's not like I don't know. It's such a touchy subject, and I'm not trying to offend anybody. I feel like
we touch those subjects here, brother. I
feel like we live in this world where everything has to be an outrage and everybody has to be upset by something. Why can't everybody just lighten up and look at it for what it is, and that it's a voice actor who did an awesome job, and he should be commended by the fact that he was able to get the voice right that Rockstar was looking for, because we don't know who Rockstar had send demo tapes, or you know what I mean? It's just I feel like the outrage culture that is happening in this world today is just it's creeping into movies, stand-up comedy, and now it's entering into video games, to where everybody's outraged by everything, and it's just so tiring. And I don't know. But
Chris, I will give Mega. This is where I will say, you said like the best person for the job, and I feel at the end of the day, if there is somebody out there in terms of voice acting who has had kind of like the traditional background and the heritage of growing up like both like African American and Native American, they probably have that inside line on how you should be, how you should present yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because they grew up with that heritage, with that culture, that those two cultures blended together or whatnot, that they would be a perfect fit for that role. Right,
Yeah,
Mega?
yeah, oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I said, the first thing I said is that I thought that the article was a little bit extreme in the sense of calling it racist, or saying that the
They were
role that
really
the
quick
person
to
played.
pull that card too.
They were pulling the card, and I agree with Chris on the sense that like there is oversensitivity out there. I just think that in the sense, if there's people out there that have, okay, perfect example, Black Panther, that movie would not have been the same if it was directed by a white man. I'm just being real with you. That's true. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's the sense of like me being Native American, African American. I was feeling Charles, and so the dude did one hell of a job because I was feeling it. And then like when he was getting thrown the racial overtones from some of the people, I'm like, oh, listen to this racist white motherfucker. Fuck him. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. But you know,
them dudes got burnt.
Yeah. But to me, it's like if they couldn't find the right talent, if they couldn't find the right talent, then that you know, when they first was trying to look at, all I just care about is if they go out and they look for these people, and if they have the potential to do it instead of just going for the big name because they're more of a solid pick. That's all I'm saying. Is like, look, I think that everybody should get an opportunity, especially if they're going to play certain roles to that degree. You know what I'm saying? I understand like if a game is cheaply made, because I mean there's no other, but they show a black character and then they got you hear somebody that sounds like Don, it cracks me up. Like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't mad about that. Like, I understand these people.
You trying to say Don can't play that role, man?
Oh no.
Can I have you know what I'm saying? I ain't never heard a black dude said, can I introduce you to some potato salad? I don't know, but hey,
As long as there's mustard in it, I'll have it.
Yo, Chris, you crazy, man.
But other guys, I'm not trying. Like I said, I'm not. I didn't really want it to be that big. Like I said, it's not a really right or wrong answer to it. I just want to hear people's thoughts about it because it was an interesting article.
But I do, you know, when it came down to it, I do see what they said, what you're saying in the article where they tried to pull that race card. But then again, within the article, he also stated that, you know, every other character was played by, you know, it's, you know, the ethnic counterpart to, like, you know what I'm saying? Not counterpart, but like every African American was played by an African American. Every Native American was played by a Native American. Like, how the hell is this guy saying race card, and then saying?
But the article also says that Rockstar does this regularly. Like, it implies that. It says another racist caricature from Rockstar. You know what I mean? So
what's up, Doug?
Here's the thing. Like, this whole thing, this
is the reason why Dark came on, by the way.
It is. This article, I would have if we were living in the 60s or 70s, okay? Because there was a lot of that racial.
There's a lot of shit out there today as well, man. Don't.
There is still a lot. No, I'm not saying that there's not anymore. Like, I'm saying that there is a lot of stuff going on now still, but like back then, yes, they would have probably gotten the game probably would have been a lot more like you said, all white cast, you know, all white. That's it. You know,
it would have been all white
because that's how they did it back then. They didn't. I don't want to get too much into it, but it was very, Hollywood was very racist, and it still kind of is. It still is. Mm-hmm. There is racism there. But like with this article today, it's like I don't necessarily agree with it because of the fact that I think the person that they got to do that role was good enough, and the fact that, you know, nowadays, if it was, I think there would have been a bigger issue for me, like it would have been a bigger issue if it was, you know, a white guy or something like that, like, yeah, I would probably get a
Did
bigger
you just
issue
say
out
that
of
out the corner of your mouth, like, oh, like, you're like
it. A little bit, because I don't want to
fucking
offend anybody.
Caucasians, man. Damn it.
I think I would
It
have.
ain't
I would have
about
been
it.
a lot more
Don't
upset.
tippy toe, bro. That's one thing I can't stand. I don't like. Be real about what you got to say.
That's one thing K Mega never got
No,
from me. I don't
I'm
tippy toe
trying.
bullshit.
I'm trying to
like,
say it.
nah,
I'm
nah.
trying to say it because I don't want to. I don't want to offend anybody, but at the same time, I'm thinking to myself, like, the whole thing with this is that, nowadays they pick the right person. They pick the right person to do the job.
I
And
would never just
back
automatically
then-
say that. Like, I don't feel like we're at a spot where we could just automatically, you know what? They're just gonna pick the right person.
for voice acting, they do a lot of times.
I won't
for voice
give that
acting, they
But they
do.
use it
any
for
film,
mocap
for film,
too.
no, hold
We-
on. Let me finish. Okay.
Okay.
Now in film, yes, granted, they do pick a lot of the wrong people to play those fucking characters. Yes, I agree with that. But yes, there is still a little bit of that in gaming. But I think in gaming there are a lot more people that are. It's more broadened. It's more, they get a lot more different people to play different characters, to get out of their shell and play a different type of an animal or a different race or things like that. So it's always kind of been kind of this shift of different people. The right person for the job is the right person for the jobs. In most cases, there are some cases where it's not the case. There are cases where it's not that case, but for the most part, they do get the right person for the job. And I think the guy, the Charles was one of my favorite characters in that fucking game because he was fucking badass, and he would just be like, "I'm gonna go kill him with you. I'm gonna go help you."
Let me ask you this: so they did mocap for these games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So why? So maybe the actor that played Charles just couldn't do the mocapture. Like all the people that they had trying out for him, they couldn't do it. They couldn't get it right. I don't know. I'm playing devil's advocate.
And that's the part to me that's kind of like, because I think I posted something that showed the actual cast, and like they don't look like the characters themselves, but. You know what I'm saying? But they did say that they used, motion capturing. They worked together for 5 years, and they had to do what they did with, like, in the Hellblade with the stuff on the face and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go into those links, then what I'm saying, why you just didn't have a person to portray that? That's all I'm saying. I mean,
Well,
if they couldn't find anybody that could do that role properly, and there's something that's within Game of Sutra that they were saying that there's not enough people of color that applies for dev jobs or for these acting jobs and things of that nature. So that could have been an issue as well.
Well, I'm interested to hear. I think he might have fallen asleep, like, as we're talking about this.
He probably did because I was talking.
My
He was falling asleep while I was
brother Predator here, man. I'm interested to hear what you think about this article as well, and if there's any meat on this bone with what the writer of the article, I guess you could say journalist, like what he's talking about in terms of this character, Charles Smith.
And it was a female, by the way, guys.
Yeah, it was a female.
It's not a male writer; it's a female. So.
Oh, okay, my bad. Pred, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I was
All right. Yeah, dude, I feel like you might have been playing below right then and there.
No, I would have fell asleep playing that too.
Oh,
Yeah.
So, like, I didn't read the entire article. I did read bits. I saw like a couple of tweets about this before, and I think I brushed up on.
Oh, did you read? Did you do what most people on Twitter do? They read the title and then move on.
Basically,
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, and here's my take on this. Right, it's a voice actor. Right, it's not like they put blackface on this person and put him out in the front
right.
on the stage and had him parading around as a black person or an Indian person. Like, it's a voice actor. You're hiring someone for their voice, and if you couldn't find whether the person had been white, green, purple, pink, Asian, whatever, if they didn't have the voice for the character,
Or Russian.
yeah, like they didn't have the voice for the character, then you don't hire that person. Period. Like, I didn't have any problem with who they picked. I mean, because it was just voice. It wasn't anything else. Now again, had it been like you put the okay. Here's a perfect example, right? Because I think K Mega kind of alluded to this before. All right, sometimes you get people who are bad voice actors characterizing people of color that we know damn well don't sound like that. Perfect example: Horizon Zero Dawn. They did terrible with their voice actors, and I saw black characters on there with the most whitest fucking voices ever, and it took away from the game. This guy who did this job for Red Dead sounded the part.
Mm-hmm.
So I had no problem with that. I think he did a good job. I think he did what he was hired to do, and they picked the right person for the job. I mean, could they have picked an African American / Asian American person to do the job? Probably, but I don't know what their criteria was and who they found and what they sounded like on. Maybe they couldn't read right or what. I don't know. But this guy that did the job did a really good job. So we can't take anything away from that guy. The fact of the matter is, we would have never have known, going off of anything else but his voice, that he was Asian, other unless someone told us. We would have never known.
And somebody did.
So,
somebody did.
So that was the problem. But like before we found that out, like being all the sensitive society we're in right now, they had someone Asian doing the fucking African American Asian.
Yeah, man. Yeah, they want to make an issue where there isn't one. Yeah.
Well, yeah, Pred. When it comes down to that, now that everybody has pretty much got their opinions, and when it comes to the journalist, why do you think that she felt like she was doing something like decent for the world with coming out with this article, or do you think she might have had ulterior motives when it came to what do you think? What do you feel with
a little bit of both? She's announcing it, but then obviously she's doing it for personal gain to get attention. But I'm not in her head. What her mindset was when she posted the article. Maybe she was really offended by it. I mean, and people have different, in this society we live in, people have they're all in their fucking feelings in this society we live in now. So maybe she felt some kind of way about it. What race is she?
We don't know. She didn't put that in her article. Yeah.
Maybe she's African American / Indian American or Native American. Like, we don't know.
And well, no, I think in the article she did say that she was of Native descent, and I can't tell.
Yeah,
probably Native descent. Right. She felt like someone else should have been given the opportunity, but then who auditioned for this job?
We don't know that either.
That's what we don't know.
Exactly.
That's the thing. Is like if there was somebody, I got the point to where she was saying, like, if somebody came in and they had, because I've heard this before as well, is that there'll be people that could go for a role and they can knock the role out of the park, but they'll go with the safer bet just because that person is just more known. It's just the networking aspect of things, right? Mm-hmm. So to me, it's like. It's damn if you do, damn if you don't. That's why I said it's not a really wrong answer to it. What I'm saying? It's just that I got some of what she was saying to the point. I'm not going nowhere near touching the part about being racist because it's not racist. It's not racist. It's not blackface. Trust me. Fuck that. I mean, I think if this, to me now, if you really wanted to get me hot on the issue, is if this was Grand Theft Auto 5 and then they had two white boys acting like main black characters, then there'll be a motherfucking problem.
Well,
you see what I'm saying?
Guys,
that's what have been faced. So,
guys, check this out. Our brother, the Don, has joined the hangout. Yo, Don, what is going on, man?
Not much. I like your intro, but I also like Nox's intros. Oh shit, it's Don. So
maybe we got to change that up for when you do come in. Like, oh shit, it's Don. But Don, you came in. You came in on a particular topic, but I don't know if you wanted to chime in on this, or we did talk to Halo, the whole Halo bit. Where are you coming in to say what's up to, man?
Man, I just woke up and I realized that the podcast was going on. I'm like, oh crap! I was thinking about stopping by, and here I am. So, I just happened to come into the. You guys are handling this subject quite professionally, I would say, everybody. This is always a touchy subject, to be honest with you. So.
Well, when you have confidence in yourself that you're not doing this for an ulterior motive, or you don't have any secret ideology, working in your brain and stuff. It usually comes out with common sense. You know what I'm saying?
What publication was this person's article in?
Oh, what? Oh,
Was it like a bigger site or was it one of these smaller sites?
I'm going
I
to
would
the DM right
say
now to pull
be
it.
a smaller site. Yeah.
I'm going to DM
Yeah,
right now.
I know the person has had an Axagram in the past. When I read the article, I looked her up. She's had other articles kind of targeting.
Paste.
Paste Magazine,
Yeah.
pastemagazine.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I know that part of it, but no. What do you want me to tackle since I stopped by and disrupted the whole entire podcast?
If you want to talk Red Dead, we did talk about the whole Halo thing. I know you are a Halo fan, and you've been kind of in the same. You've been in the same boat in terms of 343 moving forward. You know, with the Spartan abilities, like where they're going with the Halo franchise, and you know, people are out there stating now that, you know, supposedly 343 is bringing Halo back to what it used to be. I don't know if you want to chime in on what you think that means and like how you feel about that whole situation. You could jump into Red Dead. It's up to you.
Well, let's tackle the Red Dead thing because I think that's what everyone's talking about, and if we want to loop back to Halo,
all right, right before
not
you
keep
do that,
everyone too long.
I do have to shout out Sir X-Men once again with the super chat. He's saying Shadow Warriors 2 is a must play in Game Pass, man. Yo, Shadow
Absolutely.
Warriors, awesome.
I'll
Awesome
check
game.
that out.
So I show up and then you start getting super chat donations. Well, you're welcome.
Well, that's been going on the whole podcast.
Yeah,
John.
I'm gonna.
Come on.
I was gonna let his ego ride it out, let him feel really good about himself. But go ahead, man. What do you gotta say?
Well, I think on the whole Red Dead thing, I think it's interesting. I was talking to Mega because I figured he has more invested into it than most, right? Given his heritage and his background and that sort of thing. I think
Where
it's
he
interesting.
lives as well.
I think it's
Right,
interesting.
where-
I think where we're at in gaming, I think graphics in particular is we can now represent people of different cultures a lot more respectfully now than we ever could. And so in doing so, sometimes you just kind of have to put the cart before the horse a little bit and just make the character. And yeah, some opportunities may get passed by, but I'd much rather have characters more fairly represented from those cultures than not. And then what will happen, I think, is a repercussion of that is I think people of different heritages will look at those situations and say, huh, maybe I can be a voice actor. Because that's part of the issue is trying to just get people to apply.
Yeah.
But if you make the characters in the first place, maybe they start applying more. So you got to put something first. And that's the way I look at it. You look at Red Dead, you can't look at that cast in that game and say it's not a diverse cast. It's a very diverse representation of kind of what America is, which is a true melting pot of people of different cultures coming together. And through that, there was hardship, trying to learn how to get along. We're still learning how to get along in regards to that. I think they represented it pretty well. But I think there's a difference between someone who has an axe to grind to, I think, someone just feels really passionate and wants to see more representation. And I think there's a careful line we have to walk is we got to listen to the people that really want that fair representation and not just like throw insults back at them, like, that sort of thing. In the same token, and there's some people that have axes to grind, I think we can come together and say, well, that person has an axe to grind and kind of muddle through that sort of stuff and get more diverse characters in regards to that. I think that's kind of my take on it. You just gotta take some sort of step first, and creating the character is the first step, I think. And I think just letting people know that they can apply for these sort of things. Anybody that listens to this podcast, anybody that you can apply for voice actors, probably one of the easiest jobs to apply for.
I'm letting the developers out there know if you ever create a character who is Native American, Polish, and Italian, call me. Okay? Call me. I will
I don't think
gladly
they want a
do
12-year-old voice.
Hey, you never know. You never know.
Well, that's the funny thing. It's like, Megan knows this, and I think some of you guys know this. One of the main characters in the game, not the character you play, but an NPC is African American in my game, and I almost didn't put him in there because I just like, man, there's always controversy when you do something, and I'm like, I just don't want that controversy. I don't want to deal with it. In the same token, I'm like, screw them and their controversy. I just want to make a game and make a deal with it. And that's kind of how I ended up.
Well,
and
are they gonna is this character gonna be voiced by K Mega though? That's the
K
question.
Megas keep pitching that angle. So yeah, I will let them know
Yo,
when.
Mega, I am in your corner with that, and we will promote that heavily with this guy. Okay, man.
Well, there
This
yeah,
will be the smoothest voice in video game history.
I don't know if I can handle that for like 10 hours.
So people don't know about the project. There's that really wanted to be the voice actor.
Project
Mega,
Pimp Cup.
and it's somebody. Believe it or not, is somebody actually that plays for the Jazz as well. So like,
Honestly, I would rather hear Pred than K Mega.
oh really?
Oh, Pred, are you throwing your hat in?
Shout
on
out
this?
Pred.
Yeah.
So instead for voting for gameplay, we should vote for who played the voice actor in my game. Is
Oh!
that what we're doing?
You guys are going up against a professional athlete here with somebody who plays for the Utah Jazz. So I'm just throwing it out there. You guys ready to compete with that? Man?
Well, I feel like if you have a Russian character, I feel like I could really get that role very well.
If you have a half Mexican, half Irish character, I'm totally down.
Yo, dude, what the hell would that be?
That's a fucked up mess. No,
Just went completely left.
Hey, look, man, yeah.
How did that come about?
How did that
That's
come
what I am, you fuck.
Goldblum went Louis C.K. on y'all, man.
I know.
Louis C.K. on y'all.
That's what I am, man. I'm half Mexican, half Irish. Shit.
Wow.
I don't even know how to represent that in graphics, to be honest with you.
That'd
That'd be a tough one to represent. But yeah, I mean, I think that I get where people are coming from. And I think where people are just they want to see a fair shake for everybody, and I think that's fair. But I think in the same token, you just need to create those opportunities. And the best way to do it is create characters. And I think that's the final start of that. And more characters we have out there, and the more situations where you run into situations like this, then the question it's twofold. It's we need to encourage people that say they can do this and make sure that so we can get those people to apply.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the same token, we need to keep an eye on it, because if it is completely out of balance, maybe that's something as gamers you guys want represented. Maybe that person who played that voice actor just didn't do a good job because it wasn't authentic. And when it doesn't seem authentic, that needs to be called out, because with Charles,
it takes away from the immersion of the game as well.
With Charles, I had no idea. Like I never would have guessed until I read the article. So he did a good job. I mean, at least he represented that culture in a very respectful way, in regards to that. So that's there's good. There's
what
good
all anybody wants though is a good representation. I mean, I understand that it's just voice. I don't want to say it's just voice acting, but it's voice acting. And I feel like the guy that they had that played Charles was the perfect representation of that guy, because we don't know who else they had for that role.
Well, and I unfortunately, I think a part of it is, and I know Kris, like, I'm with you on this whole kind of like PC world today. Like, I think a lot of people need to lighten up. There are certain things that like I will get serious about, and unfortunately, this is a case of kind of like the children paying for the sins of the father. If you look at entertainment in the United States over its history, you look at Hollywood and you look at everything that Hollywood has done, and even though this is not a movie, it is a form of entertainment, and it is kind of like entertainment's child. So it's paying for the sins of the father when it comes down to it, man. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, look at Locke. I mean, switching over to Halo, right?
Hey, we talked about Locke tonight.
But if you look at Locke, like the person that was the actor versus the voice actor, two different people. But they both represented really well. And the person that got the voice acting job because he had a better voice than the guy that.
K Mega mad about it right now. He's like, man, I can't believe that shit.
No, because it was a black guy.
Yeah, they both were. They both were.
Yeah,
both represented that.
So okay, like on the when you first played the reconstructed version of the Master Chief Collection of Halo 2, when he's talking to the Arbiter, that's that other dude's voice.
Yeah.
Like you listen, Locke sounds totally different.
Yeah, well, exactly. So I mean, that's just what it comes right down to. And so, and that's another perfect example. The Arbiter was African American. No one knew, but no one cared because he was just a good voice actor. And voice, made the difference. So, that goes with opportunities that are, people are not even representing that culture. You just want people to try out. So that's all.
He doesn't sound so much more different than Mike Coulter, though. So like that to me, that bugs me out. I mean, but I'm just saying, hey, we don't know, right? We don't know what they were looking for in these auditions. They had him for the likeness. They had Mike Coulter for the likeness, and his physique. He probably did, whatever, his mocap and all that. And the other guy's voice is the voice they were looking for.
All right, but let me make a twist to this, right? Okay, so look at it from a standpoint of just like how we've seen with how Hollywood treated when Iba, Idris Iba, whatever. When they were rumored that he was going to be the next Bond. You see how social media went crazy.
I was excited for that.
I was excited, but you see how there were people that was upset. How could you do that? How could James Bond is white? What? Okay, so just think of this from a standpoint. There was a lot of people that was.
Yeah, but no, I'm saying to those people, like, who said James Bond is white? Like,
right. Well, they'll go by books and things like that. But also, just think of like this. Like, let's just say, a character, or let's say, like, okay, on Battlefield, since that has so much controversy about authenticity, right? That on the German characters that were portrayed on there, they were actually black actors that did it. Do you not know what kind of outrage that would have been? That's the thing that I'm saying. Like, I mean, it
does exist. It does exist.
And you know what I'm saying? And that's the thing of it. Like, I mean, when some certain people want these things to be authentic, then on other facts, well, you know what? It doesn't really matter. You know what I'm saying? It's just Charles. And so like I said, I get what that woman in the article was saying on that aspect, but not the racist aspect or the blackface or red face. I thought that was just way too much.
And over to the Halo thing. I want to switch subject. Sorry. I want 343 to not go retro. I want them to continue the series where they left off in regards to that, and I want them to expand into other characters. And it's funny, we're talking about representation of other characters, but if you look at Locke wouldn't have made sense if you just all of a sudden changed Master Chief to Locke, right? Let Locke be its own character.
They were planning that in the beginning, and then they started hearing some backlash, and then they're like, all right, we gotta bring it back a little.
Locke's the only character. If you take Noble 6, you take whatever the ODST guy you played, he is the only character that people give backlash that you played. The only character in the series. That's kind of silly because he does follow the exact same format. There's some fundamental changes they've done and all that sort of stuff as far as like how they represent the character. In the sense, like, I think it was the only character where you actually saw the character's face, because you never saw it with Noble 6, you never saw it with ODST or Master Chief. So that's the only difference.
When it came to Locke and Master Chief, what I thought they were trying to do here, and this might be looking a little too deep into it, but we saw how Locke was really I have a command and I have to go through with it. I have a command and I have to go through with it. Pretty much he was by the book and everything, kind of like the old school Master Chief. I think they were using these two characters, like when they decided that they were gonna have to put Master Chief in it. I thought that they decided they were gonna use these two characters to show how much Master Chief has changed from the original Halo 2 and Halo 3. I think that was also a mindset with having both of them in the game.
Yeah, here's the thing. You just want to have a new character. Why not? People complain about not having new things all the time. Now you have a new character and people are complaining. You get to play, like, why not have
welcome
more?
To the industry, man.
Yeah, and I get it. Like, I don't want to go retro on the art style. I saw Vogel's put a thing out there. It was like some sort of thing. Which Master Chief did you like the best? And he had the 1, 2, 3, and 4.
I put 4.
I put 4, and 4 is killing it. from an art style is totally killing it. And that's where I want them to take the art direction going forward. That doesn't mean they can't borrow some stuff from like, Halo 2 or 3 from some certain aesthetic choices and stuff like that. I don't think I'm not opposed to that if you want to dip into that library, but the same token, don't hit copy paste and
Well,
do
check
that.
this out, Don.
I want a Sergeant Buck game.
Yo, Don, check this out. I think we approached this, and it was Kris and it was Knox who brought this up. Now, Kris talked about art style. I think Knox really hit it home when we saw that kind of like that game engine demonstration. If you noticed, when you saw the environment and the landscape, it really looked more like when Master Chief first set foot on a Halo. It was more organic. It was more like grass and trees and stuff like that. I think that when Knox said that, I think that could be what they're meaning by back to what it used to be. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. Because
there's a certain people in the Halo community there, and this more than I do about it. I've been exposed to this later. That there's like everything, make it back to Halo 2, and I'm just like, I played Halo 2. I like it. I enjoyed it.
If I want to play it again, I have it still.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's the thing is like the series will not move forward if they keep pushing that narrative. And it's unfortunate because, those are some really diehard fans and, and I'm kind of pushing against that a little bit, but the reality is you can take elements from the history of the series and say, okay, we can take elements here, elements there. And we can also do new things. We can still be Halo. And Halo 5 at its roots is still Halo.
That multiplayer.
Isn't the old saying you can't have progress without change?
Ooh.
That's exactly right.
Perfectly said. Yeah.
I mean, and that's one of the reasons why I went independent. Like, and I've gotten offers already. I've already turned down offers from publishers and stuff like that. And the thing is, one of the things that it's like, well, we've seen success in this area. And where games like this do well if we do this, and they're using it as a sales pitch to get me to sign up with them. But the same token, I'm going, yeah, but
they're showing you their borders, is what.
Yeah. Like I don't want to do that, And you know what? I may fail at what I do, but it's my money, so I'm going to fail. And
it's your vision.
And if I'm successful, I'm successful. So, and I know a lot of the people over at 343 are some of the most talented people out there. I would say there's probably more Bungie employees from the old Halo days working at 343 than working at Bungie these days, to be honest with you.
I can see that.
So like when people always say, give it back to Bungie, you're just,
it's there.
You just want to put the label on the outside. You're just putting a sticker on it. You're not, you're not putting that Bungie flavor. That Bungie doesn't exist anymore. It's a studio that's evolved into something.
I think it was Peter Young in the chat. Shout out to Peter Young. I think he said that it has been confirmed that the Spartan abilities will be in the next Halo as well. So if that is true, Peter, if you're following me on Twitter, if there's a link or something that you can send my way, definitely tweet it out to me or send it to me in a DM. I can sleep better at night, man. Basically.
Spartan abilities. Like here's the thing. And Megan's gonna like this. Halo is a shooter that plays like a fighter. And what I mean by that is when someone gets a jump on you, gets the first strike, you have this plethora of things you can do to try to tip the scales in your favor as far as health is concerned. And so that's either melee, you dodge this way, you dodge that way, you throw a grenade, the grenade kind of changes a lot of that. You switch to a different weapon, all these different types of things. So there's some shooters that just play just like shooters. Halo plays like a shooter with kind of a fighter mentality behind it. And so when you add Spartan abilities, you are expanding on those fighting moves where it's that fight or flight type mentality where you're up against combatant as far as that goes. And so removing those Spartan abilities would be awful. And as a matter of fact, the Spartan abilities fit into the Halo core mechanics so well. Like it's more Halo 5 is more Halo than older Halos. I would make the fundamental argument.
You better watch.
And-
You better watch your Twitter after you said that, man. I don't
Well,
know.
yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I seen all the people that argue like, well, you got to take away run, you got to take away this, and it's just like, okay, you're taking things completely out of context. You're not looking at the grand scheme of everything that's going on. But that's kind of how Halo is. It's about tipping the scales in your favor when you have encounters with one another. That's what makes that gameplay loop so
Dude,
good
that's
and
why I
lasts
said-
so long.
That's why I said the Halo 5, the multiplayer, the heart of Halo is still there. Because like you said, somebody can get the jump on you, but it's not a Twitch shooter like Call of Duty, where if they get the jump on you, like you're pretty much done for or whatnot. Like you have so many different ways to go. And I feel like the old school Halo people, they had certain tactics that they got comfortable with.
Yes,
And they
and
want
that's-
those back in the game instead of letting the game and the franchise evolve into something bigger.
And
Right,
that's
and
the case with
also-
all gamers. I mean, to be
Yeah.
honest with you.
And I just want to make this point too. Like, just think of I think Crackdown is kind of like the prelude of what Halo can definitely be in the future when it comes to Warzone, because that Warzone is is going to be very successful for them, and could even be more extensive, because if you have environments that can be destructible, then
Huh.
then you're going to a whole nother
That'd be insane in
level
the Halo
of,
universe, man.
Well, the question is, why would you
Yeah.
limit that to only multiplayer?
Well, yeah. Also, you're right,
I
but I'm
mean,
just saying,
you can get that with-
people going to be playing more of the multiplayer than the story after the
Exactly.
story is done. You see what I'm saying? So that's the only point I was trying to make. But just think about that. But if you still keep to the old guard, then how can that? Why would that even be involved if you can't run or use these abilities and things like that? You got to let it progress, man. Got to.
Yeah, definitely, man. But guys, on that note, unless Don, you have anything else to say?
No,
we
you
did
got a
run
full
over-
panel. I don't want to keep
You know,
up everybody.
my brother Kris here. Like I did say 2 hours. Kris, just to let you know, I came from
Cool.
the Mooch
Exactly.
Academy. I came from the Mooch Academy of podcasting. So sometimes we can definitely go over. But guys, it's been a great show. Again, I want to give a huge shout out to the chat. You guys were absolutely on fire all night. Thank you guys again for all your support coming in on a Saturday night, prime time, to hang out with this panel. It means so much to me, guys. But like a 40-year-old with a comb over, man, we gotta get those plugs in, and I am gonna start with the man of the hour, our special guest, Kris Steele. Kris Steele, why don't you let people know what you do out there in terms of media and content, and where people can get a hold of you to talk games, man?
Well, you can follow me on Twitter at Mr. Kris Steele. That's MrKrisSteel. I do a little podcast with my friend, the Creep Queen. She's sexy and dopey and a little bit weird and quirky, but she's a gamer too. But we do this podcast called Double Penetration Podcast, which is a kind of like a sex exploration, fetish exploration, relationship podcast that's kind of morphed into us finding these weird sex stories that happen throughout the world and kind of not necessarily poking fun, but giving our opinions, much like here on a video game podcast. But we kind of have fun, and we're on a podcast network called Demon Seed Radio, and you can follow us there at demonseedradionetwork.com/double penetration podcast. I think that's our link, and if it's not our link, then oh
Yep.
well. And then Double Penetration Podcast on every major podcast platform.
Nice, brother. And I gotta say, dude, like we said before, it was a long time coming, man. You came in and knocked a home run after a home run, dude. I hope this isn't the last time you're gonna be here, because, like, dude, anytime you have a Saturday night that's free, just let me know. I have a seat available for you, dude. You absolutely killed it tonight, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you having me on, and I'm glad that like I said to you off chat or off air, is that once I realized I had a free Saturday, I was like, I gotta let Bot know.
Yeah, and the panel knows. We were talking about that off air, how excited I got when he said, like, yo, free Saturday, I got to get a hold of Bot. I was like, yeah, that's right. Thank you again, bro, and I can't wait to have you on again. Let's go to the Don, man. He slept late, so he's probably going to be up all night, probably, doing that mud trucks thing. Don, what has been going on with you? Get those plugs in, and then let people know where they can get a hold of you, man.
The best way to do it is follow me on Twitter. I think Bot actually has active links this time at the bottom of the video.
Hey,
Uh,
dude, I have upgraded since the last time you were on.
exactly. Follow me there. I'm trying to put in all the work in before the end of the year, and I'm hoping to drop content once a week on my YouTube channel. I'm kind of backlogging as we speak right now. So different opinions and things like that. And it's nothing related to current topics, but just certain subjects in gaming and interacting with you guys. So look forward to that. And I'm also going to be doing live streams pretty soon here with creation stuff on my channel. So
Nice. I'm actually down for those live streams as well, and I'm really interested in seeing what you're stockpiling, because there's a lot of topics that you can go, just kind of like general topics in the game industry. I try to tell people all the time, like with multiple podcasts I'm on, somebody will be like, "Yo, it was such a light week for news." I'm like, guys, there's always something to talk about in this industry.
Well, on the live streams, I might be doing my version of Master Chief. So I'm debating if I'm going to do that or not, start that project or not, just for the fun
Are
of
you
it.
going to have a powder blue visor? That's all we want to know.
Powder blue visor. I was thinking something a little more shiny and a little silver armor, maybe.
Some silver,
Ooh.
maybe some
armor.
gold, maybe some gold in there. Some
No,
gold trimming.
I think a blue visor with some silver armor. I think that would look good.
Will
right?
he have a pimp cup like completely attached to his right hand the whole time?
To his right hand, or should I just embed it into his chest?
Oh shit! Pimp cup in his chest with a straw. There you go.
There you go. Or we can do like one of those beer hats. Anyways, well, let everyone else do their outros.
Yeah, definitely, bro. It was good to have you on, dude. You came in you half asleep, and I think you're completely awake now. You got to go play Forza or Mud Truckers with somebody, man. But
Mud Truckers.
Mud Truckers, that's what I'm calling it. Yeah.
That game, man.
But
It's a lot of fun, but it's so stupid, and I hate it. But I keep wanting to play more.
oh my goodness, you too?
Yep.
Oh, I am out of here. But yo, the angry.
Chris, we got to hang out after the podcast.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah, no doubt.
You just sparked something there, man. I don't know if you know it yet, but you will within the next couple days.
Is it best friends time right now?
Best friends forever. Hey,
Hey, and real quick, Bot, if anybody wants to add me on Xbox Live, my Xbox Live gamer tag is X1SaintX.
you guys are gonna want to play him in Injustice 2. Don't worry about it. He will take
Injustice.
He will take it easy on you guys. I'm just saying. Yo, the Angry Otter came in today. He saw what we were talking about with Red Dead Redemption. He was like, man, I have opinions. I need to get in there. And that's what I want the next podcast family to do. Like, when you know, I know the Don's in our chat, you know, Optimus is in our chat, and when it comes down to it, if there's something you guys want to talk about and you're free, you definitely come in and hang out with us. So, Dark, let people know where they can get a hold of you to talk games, and if there's anything you're up to, man.
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter, Dark Optimus. You can find me on Xbox Live with the same name. And as always, man, I always like coming on to the next podcast because you guys are my brothers, and it's always fun. So definitely have to do it again.
Yeah, nice, bro. Like, it's always good when we get everybody in here plus Kris, and it gets kind of wild, man. And I enjoy it.
It definitely got wild tonight, so I'm like,
I can't wait to go
I might have
back.
to take a break
I
for
can't
like 3 months.
I can't wait to go back and check the show out again, really. But yo, K Mega, what is going on, bro? You need to let people know what is going on with GRG videos throughout the week, where people can check them out, and where they can talk games with you, man.
Yeah, man, I haven't did a video all week long. But,
I did notice that. I got no alerts, man. No alerts.
I've been no life in Origin, so I'm gonna go ahead and beat that. But then I'll get back to doing the videos. I had to go to an event with the old lady last night. You know what I'm saying? Hit the streets, did a little party, and it was really fun. Had a good time, and GRG will be back next week. Probably will be the last show of the year. I kind of tend to slow down on doing the podcasts and videos around the holidays. It's not like I'm stopping or quitting. It's just that I kind of like to have the crew just spend time with their families or work or do the things that they need to do to get ready for the holidays and for the new year. But we'll definitely have GRG.
I wish
just-
K-Mega was my boss, to be honest.
you know what I'm saying? I just know how it is. You know what I'm saying? So from
Yeah,
whatever,
They make it with green light everything.
I run a tight ship with next podcast. I'm like,
I
no, we're
know.
doing a show. We're doing a show.
We're doing a show on December 25th, damn it.
but my lips are sewn together. Anyway, so no. But no, anyway, we'll definitely drop a video probably tomorrow, if not sometime early in next week. You know, I do want to give a big congratulations to the Dev and the Gamer, man. We hitting record numbers right now. Almost right there, close to 1,000 views, man. That's the first time ever. So that's dope.
So you're saying we should do it more times, like at 1 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, no,
hell no.
not
Hell
on
no.
not on Friday, man. Don't no.
Hell no. Hell no. I just think, but no, that was just great. I mean, that was a really good episode, even though I was burnt the hell out.
Yeah, I don't know what got
After
into you.
GRG.
You're just like, let's do Devin the Gamer, and I'm like,
I did
2 in the
3
morning.
podcasts that day. Yeah, I did the mornings with Boom. Then I did GRG, and then you hit me up and was like, hey, let's just get this knocked out, man. I was like, fuck. But anyway, but check out the GRG podcast every Friday night. Also, the Dev and the Gamer whenever we could do it, and then of course here, man. And yeah, just appreciate everybody, man. Support everybody on the channel, man. It's all love here. So thanks.
No doubt,
always.
no doubt. Yeah, shout out to the GRG fam. Of course, I got a couple brothers over there with 108 Dragons. Of course, Triple Cup Chuck, he is up, and that whole crew over there. Huge shout out to them. Minus K Mega, like he already gets my shout out. So
Damn.
But yo, Predator, I know you probably took a couple cat naps tonight, and I hope that you actually thank me because you're now
Should have been a dirt
rejuvenated.
nap. Anyway.
Oh, you a little salty about the gameplay winning thing, but
That's vicious.
but now you should be refreshed, ready to go play more games tonight and stuff like that. But when you did get to chime in, you definitely made a bunch of valid points. Why don't you let people know where they can get a hold of you and talk games, man?
Predator_H2OS, pretty much every platform you can catch me in everybody's chat. You know, I'm the sixth man of gaming. Fuck K Mega, and
Yeah.
he's just mad because his little penis demon is smaller than mine.
Yo, guys, on that note, I just want to let everybody know that the gameplay poll is up. It is on my Twitter page. It's at Xbot448. Go ahead, right at the top. It's pinned right at the top. Go ahead and vote for who you thought had the best gameplay. It's going to be between Kris Steele, all right, Kris Steele, Knoxximus, the Rookie of the Year, and Xbot448. I think I know where you guys should go. Although, yo, Kris knocked it out the park, so if he wins, I will not be upset about that.
I'm only voting for Knoxximus because he hasn't won yet, and he's the newest member, and he's
Dude, you
the
don't
best
say
member,
that's
so.
the only reason why. You're supposed to say his gameplay was fire, and you had to vote for
Well,
it, man.
dude, he's like me, you know, like he's never gonna win, but
Conspiracy!
you know, he might get close.
You're not winning this argument right now.
Hey, I had to have a confession to make. Pred was right.
I wasn't trying to win, Don.
Pred was right. There was a conspiracy because the tie that was made. So I just have to come out here.
No.
It was this old lady that gave me that vote. Wonder why.
Oh!
Yeah.
Yo, guys, on that note, I am done. Yo, it is Saturday night. The game
Yo,
is
your
got a
man
game.
Xbox is gonna forget me on the outro too, dog.
Yo, all right, you cannot.
Son.
He forgets Knox twice. That's
Yo, he forgot me on the intro.
Yo, Knox, all right,
I
was put under pressure at the end, man. You got to give me that one. You can hang me for the first one.
No, but no.
Yo,
Right
look,
here on YouTube with Knox We Trust. I didn't get an episode out this week yet because I was on the grinding, but I will try to have one out. Matter of fact, tomorrow, if not Monday. But yo, you man bot doing me dirty. Man.
yo.
And that's why everybody needs to vote for Knoxximus.
There we go.
Oh my goodness, guys! I feel so bad right now.
Nah, I was fucking with you. I was waiting for it too.
I'm gonna go
hoping
torture myself probably in some VR with snaps and stuff like that. But guys, like I said, it's Saturday night. The gamers got a game. We gotta get those controllers in our hands, and I am gonna end it the way I end it every Saturday. We will check you out next Saturday for the next podcast. Have a great weekend, everybody.
There's the next Saturday?
Peace.
Every Saturday is next Saturday.
Friggin'